All right, man. Here we go. Episode
Sweet.
37.
Excellent.
How's it going, dude?
Tired.
Tired?
Yes. I am very tired. That's why I had the Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Being a dad and everything is just fucking, it's tiring.
Yeah, I bet, dude. I can't imagine being a dad.
It's like those, when you find out that you're having a kid, like my wife, it's funny because right around the time that Jasmine was pregnant, we had talked with each other. We're like, you know what? Maybe we probably shouldn't have kids. Not that we shouldn't have, but like, let's not do it just because it's a lot of work, this and that. And then literally a week later, she comes, throws a pregnancy test on the couch. And she's like, I'm pregnant.
That's funny.
And I just stared at the test like for like 5 minutes straight. I was like, holy shit. But definitely the build up to having a kid is terrifying.
Yeah.
Once you see your kid, it's this really weird, like, it's really hard to explain. It's something that you kind of have to experience on your own. You just get like this weird, this like weird parental instinct kind of thing. I don't know, dude. It's a really weird shift. It shifts everything in your life, that's for sure. But it's been positive. Like, I love that dude. Like, that dude is my life. So he's it's definitely scary though. Like, just thinking about the future and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
It could be terrifying.
You're telling me you don't smoke anymore because you had a kid?
Yeah, dude. And yeah.
Is that what you think about when you smoke then? Just think about like what makes you paranoid about it, you know?
Well, it's just like, it's like, so I smoked every day before I had Ambrose. And once I had Ambrose, I didn't have like this urge or anything to like, I'm like, damn, I want to smoke weed really bad. Because I was so like preoccupied in my mind with the baby and shit.
Yeah, sure.
And then I think a week or two after he was born, I was sitting there and he was sleeping and me and Jazz were gamers. So she was in her room and I was in the living room, we're playing, and I was like, fuck it, I'll have like a little hit. And I took my pen and I took a bigger hit than I should have. And I was good for a second. You ever do that thing where you're playing video games and you're stoned out of your mind? You're playing, but you're not really like in your mind, you're not really like completely in the game. It's almost like you're just doing it, you know?
Yeah, you end up on the next level. You're like, where the fuck?
Exactly. How the fuck did I get here? I was doing that, and then I realized that I was doing that, and then I started thinking about Ambrose, and I mean, a 2-week-old baby's. I mean, he was a big kid, but so tiny and like completely, you know, reliant on you. I just started thinking about that. I was like, holy shit, what if something happens and I'm fucking stoned out of my mind? I got to go to the hospital, this and that. I just started tripping out. I had the worst panic attack of my life. And I texted Jasmine from the living room. I was like, I just smoked some weed and I'm tripping balls. I was like, I don't know what to do. She's like, bro, just chill. And so I didn't smoke probably for another couple months after that. I did it again, and I kind of took it easy. I just took a little puff, and I was actually feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe if I just, you know, take it easy on actually smoking it. So I've only smoked 3 times since he's been born. He's 5 months old.
Yeah.
And I smoked last Thursday. I smoked last night.
So it's not like casual anymore. You like do it on special occasions pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like, the older he gets, the more comfortable I'll get with it. It definitely can't be like an everyday thing for me anymore because I got to wake up. The dude wakes up 2 times, sometimes 2-3 times a night. And if I'm stoned out of my mind, I'm just so groggy in the middle of the night going to pick him up. And so, it's worth it to, you know, not smoke, but
shit didn't stop my dad. my dad was smoking the whole time.
it'll get to that point where, you know, once he's older, a couple years, I'm sure it'll be more casual with the smoking.
Yeah.
But it's terrifying, especially if like I got to drive somewhere. I can't drive stoned with that dude in my car because I'll just start freaking out, you know. But I do love smoking. I love weed. That I used to do that shit every day.
So if you're like on vacation,
if I'm on vacation,
the kid's nowhere near you.
Yeah,
like,
if he's like at my mom and dad's house and me and my wife are out of town or something like that, for sure, I'll smoke. even if we're, you know, at a homie's house or something and he's being babysat, I'll smoke for sure. It's just when he's around, it's like, it's scary, dude. I don't know how to explain it.
You're the caretaker, you know?
Literally, dude. Yeah, he's completely reliant on me, and I just gotta make sure I don't slip up. I mean, I'm gonna slip up because parents aren't perfect, but you know, I can avoid that with not smoking every day for the most part.
One less thing to worry about, I guess.
For sure. Yeah. But
so, what's Shores up to?
Shores is in the middle of writing. Actually, we're in the middle of recording. Doing this new album, and then
is it secret or can you talk about it?
No, I think I could talk about it. I don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes people get weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll hear from Nate after this. But
if he listens to it.
Yeah, exactly. If he listens to it. No, I'll make him. I already told him I was coming on here and I'm going to make him listen to it. But yeah, we're recording and it's going by really fast. So we'll probably be dropping I think it's gonna be longer than what we just dropped, that little EP that we dropped.
Are you recording with somebody or are you just doing it yourself?
No, Mark, our drummer, has like a little studio inside the band room, and we'll record in there. I haven't done anything vocally yet. Usually that's like the last thing.
Yeah.
So, but the new shit is fucking awesome, dude. It's like this first little EP that we dropped was really mellow death, you know, with those little breaks in between of just like the kind of ambient sounds and really calming acoustics and stuff. This one's like straight, almost like it's really a lot more Amon Amarth-ish kind of, and Bellacore too, but it's just like fucking in your face, and I'm ready for that shit. It's gonna be awesome.
I like the faster, like,
me too,
fucking blast beat bullshit.
Me too.
I love it.
Me too. I feel so because this is my first time being in a. I mean, this is only my third band, but it's my first like mellow death band with those kind of themes. So I don't know, like, especially when we play live, I get not confused, but I just don't know what to do sometimes, especially in those really like mellow parts where nothing's really going on. I'm not singing for a couple minutes or whatever.
Take a drink of water.
Yeah, take a drink of the last show. The last show we played, I would just go over to Mark's set and I'd just kind of crouch down and stay out of sight and let the guys do their thing. But I love playing that, especially since I'm in a band now with dudes that all have long hair and we can windmill and shit. That's synchronized windmills.
That's always cool. You guys always do that on stage.
Yeah,
there's not a lot of bands who do that.
I know a lot of
surprising.
People. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. Long hair and metal and shit. I mean, it's still around, but short hair and shit like that is definitely in different hairstyles. You don't see a lot of people that have. Like a lot of full bands that have long ass hair and shit like that, and still windmilling the shit out of their
it's pretty old style. The
I
long
love that
hair,
shit though. Yeah. I love that shit. Windmills, man. That's so like it always makes me think of like like Death Clock, just fucking sitting there windmilling in the middle of the song though. But
if I do that, like I clear a huge circle. People
I'm
just
sure.
start backing up.
I'm sure, dude.
Yeah, it's
I can
not.
Imagine.
Yeah, most people can just do it fine, and like maybe 2 or 3 people like move.
Yeah,
but this hair just goes too far. Like,
yeah, I couldn't imagine what it's like straightened. It's got to be down to like your ass or something. I've never done that. Yeah,
I won't.
Yeah,
it's disrespectful, dude. It's disrespectful to my dad.
Damn.
Just straighten my hair.
Yep, exactly. I've Jasmine straightened my hair is definitely like it's gotten thinner over time. I think I'll lose it eventually, but there was a point where it was a little longer and she straightened it, and it was pretty fucking long. But yeah, like I always wet my hair for shows, so I know like whenever we do the windmills and shit, and Nate wets his hair too. But if you're standing on the left or right of me, especially in Dead World where they don't have long hair and they're not windmilling, both Alex and Andre are definitely getting just splat with my hair wetness. It's freaking funny. But I can't do it. I feel weird playing a show without my hair wet because my hair gets kind of not as curly as yours, but it gets poofy, and I just feel like it's like I can't do much with it, so I gotta wet that shit down.
It gets hot, dude. It
gets so hot.
Yeah, dude. When it's poofy like this,
it's
just like you know a fucking goose down jacket on your head.
Exactly.
Dude. Like,
do you ever have those moments where you're just like, I imagine like when you're showering and shit like that, where you're like, God damn it, I'm just gonna cut this shit off right now. You ever have those moments?
It's mostly like if I have to work outside or something, or if I'm like outside and it's like super windy. Dude, wind pisses me off, man.
It's all just like float over your face and shit.
I try to keep hair ties on me, but I forget all the time.
Yeah.
And dude, if I forget my hair tie, I'm like out.
Yeah.
And it's just outside, and the wind is just going back and forth, blowing in random directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I work outside too, and it can be a bitch, but my hair is nowhere near it doesn't have the density that yours does, So when I sweat, my hair will be all wet, and sometimes it'll cool me down, especially when I get in the truck and turn on the AC. I can, but it can be a bitch for sure, especially working outside.
Well, I always have my hair tied up when I'm working, but like sometimes a hard hat will like fucking pull parts out of my hair tie.
Yep.
And then I just have little strands like blowing back and forth in the wind, getting caught in my glasses and shit, and like
annoying,
dude. It sucks.
Yeah, it is annoying. It can be annoying, but
if I could just do a podcast and fucking just interview people or
exactly
do something on a stage, maybe stand up or something like that.
Yep.
I don't have to tie this shit back no more.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd feel weird like if I wasn't doing music, I'd probably cut it. But I feel weird being in the death metal band and not having long hair, especially as a front man. I was like, I feel like, because I headbang a lot, so it's like I feel like I have to have the long hair just for those headbangs and the effects and shit.
It adds something.
It adds
to
something
man.
for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. So
seen a guy headbanging with short hair.
It looks painful.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow, even though it's probably less painful, it's probably way easier to do it without hair.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The bald guy.
Yeah.
All that aerodynamics. Just it's like probably headbang so fast.
I can't remember his name, but the guy from Aborted. I think he's bald, and he's always fucking just headbanging and shit.
Adversary.
Yeah.
Bob Ball.
Yep.
That's another guy I want to have on here at some point.
That'd be cool.
I bet that guy's fucking hilarious to talk to.
I bet.
He like slams the mic into his forehead.
Yeah, dude, that's nuts. Not me, bro. I couldn't do that shit. Not me.
That's hardcore.
That is hardcore. That's commitment for sure to the art.
Fucking thrash dudes are nuts, man.
Yeah, I love thrash though. Thrash is great. Thrash is a good like.
That's what you call absolute adversary, right? Thrash.
Yeah.
Those dudes.
Yeah.
I think it was thrash.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
it's hard to label things now.
I know people like with Dead World. They'll always ask. Well, not always ask, but people kind of ask what style we are, and I just tell them melodic death metal. But a lot of people think we're like tech and we have like core parts and shit. Like we have like breakdowns that sound like deathcore breakdowns and shit. But for the most part,
you focus on melodies.
Yeah,
and
focus
like
on melodies,
guitar riffs and stuff.
Yeah, very Black Dahlia-ish.
Yeah.
So it's difficult when it comes. Whenever people ask like, "Oh, what kind of music do you like?" I just tell them death metal. I don't get into specifics, especially if they don't know metal. They
obviously don't. And most people don't. Even most metalheads don't even know metal well enough to tell you.
Yeah,
like
I don't. That's for sure. I don't like the subgenres and stuff are just nuts.
I pretend to know.
Yeah, you got to.
Sometimes people will correct me. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is post-hardcore, bro? Like, I just know hardcore. What comes after hardcore? What's post-hardcore? I have no idea. It's just a lot of crazy shit in metal. But that's what makes it fun, though. There's so much like, it's just like it's like going into that deep YouTube rabbit hole. But like with metal, it's just like so many fucking subgenres. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's bands that like will do metal sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, they just use guitars.
Yep.
And they just write a couple heavy songs. It sounds like metal.
Yep.
Like the Melvins.
Yeah, the Melvins.
That. Like they're not metal.
Yeah.
But they have some songs that sound like metal.
Well, it's like a lot of people hate them, but I fucking love them. It's like Ghost.
Why would you hate the Melvins?
Well, no, not the Melvins. The band I was talking about was Ghost.
Oh, Ghost.
They're like, they fit into that metal category.
Yeah.
Because I got the image and shit, and then they have some songs where it's like, there's some heavy guitar, but for the most part, they're just like a rock band. They sound like they come out of the 70s.
Yeah, I'm not super into Ghost.
I love Ghost.
Can't do it.
I love them. I took my dad to go see them with Iron Maiden, and he was super surprised. He's like, those guys are awesome.
Of course.
And yeah, so that was a good time, but I've always loved Ghost. They kind of caught my attention early on, and I've just been following them. They definitely have become more, I guess, mainstream in a way, but
Yeah.
For a band to be around for like, they've only been around like 10, 12 years, something like that. And they're like headlining stadiums. That's insane.
Yeah, man. They, I don't know. I think they found a good musical formula.
Yeah. Well, they're also like a Broadway act too. Like, I don't know. Have you ever seen them at all?
They put on like a show. Like
they put on like a show.
Yeah.
Like their whole entire stage is just
it's
decked
all
out.
super dramatic.
Yeah, for sure. And they got to, but it's a lot of fun to watch them. That's for sure.
Have something to supplement the shitty music.
Dude, come on. Oh, you know what? Actually, I got a bone to pick with you because on the
what did I say wrong?
On I think it was Paige's episode.
Yeah.
The slander against Ailstorm was unnecessary.
Oh yeah, you're a pirate guy.
Yeah, I fucking love Ailstorm.
I can't do it. I can't listen to Ailstorm.
Is it the vocals or is it like?
It's just cheesy.
It is cheesy.
Singing about like, oh, pirates! Like we're pirates.
But it's cheesy in like a satire way. It's like it's almost comedy metal.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It's like a theme.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
love those guys.
Like a parody band. I don't know.
It definitely is like a parody.
Yeah,
band.
there's not a whole lot of like parody music I like.
You don't like Tenacious D?
Tenacious D is good.
I love Tenacious.
Would you call them parody?
They're definitely like comedy.
Yeah, it's definitely comedy.
It's comedy for
like,
sure. I guess
half their songs are fucking hilarious.
Dude, they're so good.
I like Tenacious D, and I like Steel Panther.
I don't like Steel. See, I'm not like
I just like how extreme they are, dude. Like
for sure, yeah, they're definitely controversial. I'm not like a hair metal guy, so I don't have like an attraction to Steel Panther.
I will listen to it like I listen to a Weird Al song.
Okay,
like, this is funny, and I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah, you know it's a joke.
Yeah, and I know it's for the joke.
Weird Al's great though.
Weird Al's a genius.
He is, dude. That dude is.
Nobody can touch Weird Al.
He made money off other people's songs. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He got permission for all of them too.
Yeah, I remember hearing Amish Paradise for the first time. I was like, "What the fuck is this, bro? This is hilarious." And I was like, I don't know, 8 years old or something like that.
Yeah, I was probably pretty young like that too.
Yeah,
listening to that fucking song.
Yep. Yeah. Weird Al's cool.
I haven't even heard the original ever. That was the first time I heard.
Yep, it's the same. I didn't know what the song was based off. Like I didn't know it was like a Coolio song or whatever. And then I would listen to the Coolio song and I was like, oh, this shit's actually fucking awesome. But yeah, the Weird Al stuff is just fantastic. Really good shit.
I got into Weird Al when I was young. You
ever see him live?
Yeah, once.
How's that?
It was pretty good. It was like a free show at the state fair.
Oh, I think I heard you talk about that. I don't know how much
production they put into it.
Does he do like wardrobe changes or anything like that? Cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. I mean, he just like for the Nirvana one, Can't Tell What I'm Singing or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like he dressed up like Kurt Cobain. He had the plaid shirt and like a blonde wig. Like it was pretty funny.
That's funny.
I think he like pulled the clothes off and like into a different costume, like right after the song.
That's
just goes right into another one.
That's great.
Just shit like that. It's just goofy.
Yeah. But yeah, that stuff's fun. Like Mac Sabbath. You ever heard of Mac Sabbath?
I think somebody was telling me about them on one of the
they're
episodes.
Funny as shit. They're just like who thinks of shit like that? Literally dressed up as the McDonald's characters doing McDonald's themed, Black Sabbath songs.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that came up because we were talking about Cebulia.
Oh yeah,
the Ghostbusters metal band.
That is like the perfect. Like the Cebulia is, their music is so goddamn good, but then they throw in that Ghostbusters shit.
Yeah, it's like
so good, bro. It's so good.
You forget it's a Ghostbusters band.
Yeah, you do.
The songs are so heavy.
Exactly, they're so heavy. You're
yeah, it's fucking Ghostbusters.
You can't even really call them like a gimmick or anything like that, just because the music. Like if I put on Cebulia for someone, didn't tell them anything about what the band was, they'd just be like, "Oh, this is fucking some heavy ass shit. This is badass." And then I'm like, "Yeah, bro, they dress up like the fucking Ghostbusters and they ask people to boo them at shows." And I'm like, what? Dude, they're awesome. I love Ryan too. He helped record some of Shore's stuff. He's a great guy.
Yeah, Ryan's cool.
Yeah, and me and him have that. He has a baby too, so we'll talk about our dad lives and stuff like that together. And yeah, he's a really cool guy. Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah, man. There's another themed band
out of here.
It's local, isn't there?
I think it's Oakley Dokley. Or something like that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
The Ned Flanders.
The Flanders one, that's right.
I think they're out of here. I'm pretty sure they are. But they're heavy too. Like they're actually like a. Like I don't know what genre they are, but
there's another one I was thinking of too, where it's like you can't. Oh yeah, Born of Ash.
Oh
you
yeah,
can't tell they're themed.
Yeah,
like it's all about a video game.
Yep.
You never know.
Praise the sun.
Yeah, and if you don't know what Praise the Sun is, you don't know the fucking.
Those games, I couldn't. Those games are hard as shit. I played them once, and I was like, nope, not for me. It was hard.
I remember I played Demon Souls, the first one on PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
it was on my dad's PlayStation 3. It's like me and my brother had Xboxes, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna get a PlayStation so we can have all the games." I was like, "Okay, like go for it." He never played it, and I borrowed Demon Souls from a friend. It was a mistake. I was playing this game just getting fucked up over and over. I was getting so mad because you like make progress incrementally. Just like you can get around the next corner if you know how to fight this guy.
For sure.
You can get through the next door, like just barely. Like and you got to do it every time over and over. And I was just getting so mad I would like drop the controller. Just like drop it.
Yep.
And like he would get so fucking pissed.
Don't drop the fucking controller.
What are you doing? Like, if you're gonna fucking break my game, like quit playing. Like fucking just yell at me. It's like, oh my god.
My wife has had moments like that. So we can't play Mortal Kombat. We can't play each other in that because she'll always play Scorpion and I'm always Sub-Zero. And I have this one. I'll admit, like I'll spam sometimes. Like I know a certain move that you just is unblockable sometimes.
Hard. It's like really difficult
for sure. And I'll hit her with
that.
And she's had moments where like she's legit pissed off at me, and I have to let her cool down. And she'll take the controller, fucking squeeze it, and try to bend it and shit. I'm like, bro, chill. But in the back of my head, I'm just like, I shouldn't have done that to her. But,
yeah, I try not to play like super competitive games unless it's against people I don't know.
Yeah, like Mario Party is another one for me. It gets real competitive in my family.
I can't do that, man.
I love Mario Party, but it's one of those games where it's really fun when you're winning, and it's the worst game on the planet when you're losing.
Dude, I haven't played Mario Party in a long time, and I got so fucking like I wasn't even mad. None of us were mad. It was me and my brother and my girlfriend, and it was like the end of a party, and everybody was gone, and we all lived there, so it was like us three just there, and everybody's like leaving or passing out or whatever, and I still had a little bit of Coke left, but so we were like, oh, let's play some Mario Party and finish this shit off.
Yeah,
and we turned on Mario Party and we just filled the fourth slot in with like a computer Yoshi,
Yeah.
And the whole time we were going through and fucking just fighting each other mostly. Yoshi was just in the background just as a space filler. Like he was doing nothing the whole game.
Yeah.
And we get to the very end and it goes and gives you the random stars.
The bonus
at the very
stars.
end. Yeah, we were playing for like 3 hours to finish this game.
That shit takes forever, bro.
Yeah, it was like a full ass game of Mario Party.
Yep.
And we were all exhausted by the end of it. Like it's probably 2 or 3 in the morning. We're just like, oh my God, it's finally over. Like I think I was gonna win. I was like, yes, I have the most stars. And then I like right at the very end, Yoshi stole a star from me. And then he gets both bonus stars at the end, and the computer beat all of us at the very end.
Dude, I had that happen to me once, but I was like Yoshi in that situation where I was getting my ass whooped the whole game, ended the game with like 1 star. Like, this fucking game sucks ass. I hate this shit. And then at the end, to get the bonus stars, can't remember what it was for, but I end up getting like 2 or 3 of them or whatever, and I jumped right to first place. And the whole game I was bitching. I was like, this game fucking sucks. And everyone's like, bro, whatever. You're just a sore loser.
Yeah.
And then I win the game at the end, and they're like, wow, look at the fucking crybaby getting the win. I was like, fuck you guys, I fucking won this shit. Yeah, that game can be...
It's stupid. It's all chance, man.
It is a lot of chance.
Random
that's for
fucking
sure.
chance. Like, unless we go straight to mini games, like, I don't want to play.
I love the mini games and that.
Yeah, do not fucking play on the board like with me. I will get mad.
Yeah, that's a frustrating one.
Just
that Mortal Kombat. My buddies had a house that they all lived in, and we used to play Injustice a lot, which is essentially Mortal Kombat but with DC. And that used to get really heated a lot because I used to play with Atrocitus, and he had the same kind of thing where I knew this move that was basically if I got it on you every single time, it was just over. And it would just get so heated. I
used to play Soul Calibur. That was my.
I never played
game.
Soul Calibur.
It's a lot slower. Like you have to like time the combos. You can't just plug in a series of buttons like Street Fighter, you know?
Yeah.
You have to like wait till he's finished swinging to push the next one. So you have to like have a rhythm about your combo. And so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a little different.
Yeah,
but I liked it better because everybody's a weapon. You know, you swing weapons at each other and shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I would always play with my buddy at Castles and Coasters. We'd go to the arcade. And
God, I haven't been there since I was like definitely before age 10. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
but arcade, I live in Chandler, so I'm never on that side of town.
The arcade's all weird now. They have all these updated games. They have like a Halo.
Wow.
Like Halo. Dude, they're gigantic though.
Yeah.
Like it takes up the space of like 3 regular games.
Jesus.
So it's just one game taking up this massive space. You know, and they have like fucking Guitar Hero that's just absurdly large.
It's huge. I've gotten a couple like the main event and shit like that. Yeah. And they have the Guitar Hero. They'll have like 2 of them set up next to each other, and it just takes up a whole wall.
Yeah, it's like a 400-inch screen.
Yeah,
or something. Like, what do you need that for Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know if people play it like that anymore.
Or like Mega Tetris. Like, why are you wasting all this space with Tetris?
Yeah, my wife would be all about that. If she saw something like that, she'd be like, "You kidding me?" And she'd be on Tetris for probably hours. She loves that shit.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. My wife plays a lot of weird games, like just really random shit. She's definitely a more arcade style kind of gamer. But I love like open world MMO type shit.
Like RPGs?
Yeah, like I play DC Universe Online.
Those kind of MMOs.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
I mean, that's actually really probably the only MMO I play. But I love if it's open world and it catches my interest, I'm on it all day.
Like play like the Zelda games?
A long time ago. I haven't played the newest ones. But they did. I love Pokemon. So
Oh, you play Pokemon?
I love Pokemon.
Can't do it, man. It's so slow.
And they released that Scarlet and Violet game that just came out.
Yeah.
And that's like an open world online. And that's like the
my
first
girlfriend got that one. I was watching her play it.
Yeah, it was fun. I would hop on every now and then. It was just like, as a kid growing up, loving Pokemon and wanting to be in that world of actually catching Pokemon and shit.
Yeah.
It was the closest thing you could get to like hang out with your friends, running around the open world, bumping into Pokemon, battling and shit. So I was like, this is awesome. But yeah, I don't play the Switch too much just because I don't know why, honestly.
I just play Minecraft on Switch. I put fucking too many hours into that game.
Oh, for sure. You can put so many hours in that shit. It's nuts.
Just build and build and dig.
I don't have that artistic like that I don't know what you'd call it, but I can't get in there and just start building shit. I usually just end up fucking falling into a cave and just going and seeing how deep it goes and shit and just placing torches everywhere.
Yeah, those dude, after one of the updates, they made the caves so crazy.
Yeah.
Like the world used to go down from 64s like sea level, and it was 64 blocks down would be 0, and that'd be like the bottom of the world.
Yeah.
And then now they came out with an update that made it go to -64.
Oh my
so like
God.
they doubled the underground.
Oh shit.
So it goes like twice as far down now.
Jesus.
And the caves are just like 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
So like the cave systems are just massive.
Yeah.
They're huge. And it's like you can't see the wall. It's just blackness.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ.
Especially in survival too. Because that's another thing. If I play Minecraft, I'll usually play creative because I just like flying around and looking at shit and finding places. Yeah. In survival, I couldn't imagine going in one of those caves and be like, "Where the fuck am I?" And getting lost and shit.
Yeah, dude. I have this method where like when you're going into the cave, you just put all your torches on the left side.
Oh, okay.
And then when you want to get out, you just put them on the right side and follow them out. So any torch, if you're like lost, you just look for a torch on the wall. You're like, okay, you just like align yourself to where it's on your right side and follow it that way.
Yeah.
And like find the next torch, like align yourself and just keep doing that. Oh, I do that in the Nether too. So like, you know how the Nether is just like hills and just random lava oceans and shit.
Yep.
You get lost so easy. But if you just like put a couple pieces of cobblestone, you know, and then a torch on it, you just put that torch on your right side and it'll point you back to your portal or whatever.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that's smart. Use torches as signs.
That's really smart. My wife will watch like Minecraft like YouTubers and stuff, and there's some crazy like know what you'd call them if they're mods or DLCs, but like the water is just like super. It looks like real water instead of like that pixelated kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that.
And then like all the graphics are like realistic and stuff. Like I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool.
Ultra HD Minecraft.
Yeah, Ultra HD stuff.
Yeah, I'm cool. Not a fan. I want to just play it normal.
Yeah.
Some of the skin packs are cool, but I get so confused when looking at some of the. There's like so many blocks now. There's like hundreds of types of blocks.
It is insane, dude. I used to play it a lot, like probably like in 8th grade, 9th grade. And that was when it was really simplified, but like my wife will play and I'll be looking at her screen and she'll be like, I need this and that to make this work. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck any of this is. It's instant. It's insane how much shit they've added. I
barely go into any like redstone stuff, like the electronics.
Yeah.
And like, I don't make
like trying to make railroads and shit like that.
Well, railroads are easy.
Yeah.
'Cause you could just put a powered track down and like put the redstone torch right next to it and it'll power it. And then it'll push your cart. Like,
well, I know there's stuff that like
you
requires you have to have like certain bodies of water or something like that to make certain shit work. And I'm just like, dude, I don't even know how people figure that shit out. Like, because there's no, I mean, I could be mistaken, but there's like no guide to tell you how to do that shit within the game at least.
Yeah, it's just YouTube. You just got to find other nerds tell you how to do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do these nerds figure that shit out? Like,
I don't know. You can go on the wiki and like look at all of the like the behavior of all the entities in the game. You know, so it's like if villagers will act this specific way, so you can like, okay, well if they act that way, if I put them in a little box with all these crops, they'll automatically farm the crops for me. And then I could just have something that'll pick up the crops, like find something that'll pick up the crops for you. And it's just like you kind of have to like piece it together based on the behavior of the in-game items you have. It's kind of like almost like a Rune Goldberg machine or something. Like,
interesting.
You're kind of like just using everything in the game to fucking you're like crafting
to your
things
advantage
beyond your just crafting table. You know, right now I'm trying to make an iron farm. You can make something that automatically gathers iron for you.
Yeah, and
it's like you got to make a fake village like suspended in the air. So you put like 5 villagers on a bunch of beds. And you just suspend them like in this little jail.
Yeah, and
then underneath them you put this platform with water that funnels it into like this one lava block, and they'll spawn iron golems because the game thinks it's a village. You like trick the game mechanics.
Yeah,
it's not really tricking it. That's just how the game works.
Yeah,
like the game will call that a village, and it will start spawning iron golems.
Yeah,
and the lava will kill them, and it'll just drop iron for you.
Yeah,
and it'll just do that constantly as long as you're next to it.
Wow.
So it's like that's my next goal for the game, so I don't have to go fucking mining. I hate mining.
Yeah, I know. I got a buddy that does that too, and he has like automatic like farming shit, and I'll go into his game and his character will just be standing there, and I'm like, bro, I'll text him, I'm like, bro, where are you at? And he's like, I'm not playing. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm just online because I need my shit to farm real quick. And then he'll just leave his shit on for a couple hours and farm a whole bunch of shit without even playing. I'm like, God, that's crazy. Doesn't sound like
I used to have a bunch of auto farms in one of my games. I had like I had a villager in a hole.
Yeah.
Just put a bunch of crops in there and had like a rail underneath him that would like pick it up as soon as he would like get one of the crops, the cart underneath the soil would like pick it up.
Wow. That's
and just bring it to a chest. And then I had an item elevator. I like built all these gadgets just on YouTube. I like went through YouTube and like, I'm going to make the craziest auto farm.
That's awesome.
And the items would go up this like little circuit elevator I built, go deposit into a chest in this other room. And then I built a sorter so it would sort the hay and the seeds into different chests.
Jesus, dude, that's commitment.
And and I had like fucking 5 large chests just full of seeds and wheat. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with all this shit.
So would Minecraft be the game you probably have the most hours in?
Yeah. By far, like not even close. There's no game that's even close to comparing to that one. I don't know. Call of Duty would be second. Not even close.
Wow, that's crazy.
I put a lot of time into that game too.
Well, that game's also been out fucking forever. You know,
I've played both of them. Actually, I probably started Call of Duty first, like back with COD 3 on Xbox.
Yeah,
back when Xbox Live was new.
Yeah, I think the last Call of Duty I played was probably Black Ops 2, because I loved Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the prime of Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, that was the best one.
The best one ever. And
Black Ops was cool.
Black Ops was cool. I enjoyed
Modern
it.
Warfare 2 was better.
So good, dude. I used oh my god. Rust, man. If you got into Rust, dude, that was just a meat grinder. But I can't play Call of Duty anymore, dude. I tried downloading like Warzone and some of the new ones and playing with homies. And every time I get killed, I spawn in, and then there's another sniper somewhere I can't see, and he gets my ass.
You
and I'm
get
like,
on
bro,
mobile, dude. COD Mobile.
like on your phone?
Yeah, man.
Oh god.
It sounds bad, right? It like I could see by your expression you don't believe me, but dude, it's fucking good.
I couldn't imagine.
It reminds me of Modern Warfare 2. Like it really does. It's like back. It's like before. Like it drops it back a couple generations as far as graphics and like it's not so like super flashy like Warzone.
Yeah.
But it's surprisingly smooth for a phone game.
Interesting.
You can just run around and like run and gun just like you're on Xbox. Like there's no lag. There's nothing, dude.
You ever seen those? I've seen them on Amazon, I think. But you can put your phone inside of it, and it's like a little controller, so you're playing on your phone. But you know,
yeah, I just use the phone screen. Just the phone controls.
Crazy.
Like all the buttons are there. It plays just like the game, dude. It's cool.
Crazy. I couldn't do that.
The aiming and shooting's a little different because like it's one button to push down, and it'll aim and shoot at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You'll just start aiming and shooting. So it's like there's only one button for that, but there's also another button to like aim down sight. Just hold there, and then you can like click to shoot, like do single shots.
Interesting.
If you want to do long range, like there's like way more maps than a normal Call of Duty game.
I don't know. Phone?
I don't know why, dude.
That's nuts.
There's like fucking 30 maps on that shit.
That's crazy.
And they have like the battle royale mode.
Yeah.
Too. So they have like big maps that you can drop into.
They have zombies.
I think so. That might be seasonal.
Okay.
They do a lot of weird seasonal game modes that are pretty fun sometimes.
Cool.
Like there's one where you all turn into snowmen.
Yeah.
You get to like fucking go melee each other and shit.
That's funny.
Like there's weird game modes during the seasons.
I don't know if it's Xbox exclusives, but I know it's on PC too. But have you ever played Chivalry 2?
No, but I've seen the videos. It looks so dope, dude.
It's so fun, dude. I don't know if you get it on PlayStation, but I'm pretty sure if you do, I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform.
Well, I just got a PC. I just need a monitor.
Yeah, definitely get Chivalry 2, dude. It's one of those games like you gotta play it a little bit just to get used to the mechanics because it's really accurate as far as like you have this huge messer sword. You're not going to just be swinging this thing, left and right, no problem. It's really accurate on like the weight of the weapons and stuff.
Yeah, it takes stamina and all that.
Takes stamina, dude, and it's fun. It's just fun, like when you get a good hit and you lop someone's head off and shit. It's a lot of fun.
Have you played
huge maps?
Did you play For Honor?
I didn't know.
Dude, that one was sick.
Yeah.
That was really cool. It was like it was really like almost like Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Where it was like really like smooth as far as the animations and attacks and stuff. But I think the attack was almost more like Dark Souls. It was like you had to like time it. Yeah. It wasn't just like when you click the button, that's when he hits.
Yep.
It was like, he starts the swing.
Yep.
And you have to like,
yeah, that's fun.
There's like a cool defense system, like guarding. You either have like high, mid, or low.
Yeah.
And like you have to be in that guard to block their strike. You have to match their guard.
Wow.
So it's like if you see they're in high guard and they run up, you can like switch to low guard real quick and smack them like in the legs or something.
Wow.
Like, it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
All sorts of different weapons and
I'll
cultures.
Play. So I'm a huge Star Wars is my life basically, and I'll play Battlefront 2, and I'll do 2v2 heroes versus villains.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to like parry and stuff like that with lightsabers, it gets so intense, bro. And you get a 1v1 and you're just battling each other for 10 minutes straight.
Oh yeah,
dude, that is my favorite shit to do. It's just one-upping someone in that game and being like, I'm the better fucking Jedi.
I like doing the hero hunt on Tatooine.
Oh, you're talking like the original Battlefront?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The
those
original
games,
Battlefront was so fun, dude.
Those games consumed my life. The Battlefront, the original Battlefront was great, but then Battlefront 2 came out, and that was like,
it was good.
Revolutionary, dude. It was
really good,
ridiculous, and I enjoy the new. I think the newest Battlefront 2 came out like in 2018 or something like that.
Yeah,
and I enjoy it. I think it's actually a really good game. And that's the one I play the most. But I did download the original Battlefronts onto my Xbox, and I'll play that sometimes just for the nostalgia. I'm like, bro, this game is still incredible. Like it's that's one of my favorite games ever.
I want to get Starlink, dude. I keep seeing videos for it on Facebook and shit.
Starfield?
Starfield.
I just downloaded that on my Xbox. I haven't played it yet, but my two homies have been consumed by that game for sure.
Yeah, I fucking love No Man's Sky.
I gave No Man's Sky a try, but it was just, I don't know what it was.
Like after all the updates or before all the updates?
This was probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, so you should have seen all the updates then.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
kind of slow.
Yeah, I think that's what.
It's kind of slow to get
started. I didn't know
started.
what to do. Like I was just like running around these
planets. You have to just get the quests, like do quests, and like you'll unlock things like as you go. A quest will seem meaningless. It'll just be like, oh, so go find this, or like go to my base computer, and like that seems like a stupid fucking quest. Like I'm just gonna not do that.
Yeah.
But then like that's what unlocks the next fucking part of the whole game. You're like, fuck.
That's what I like about Sea of Thieves is because there's a lot of shit inside Sea of Thieves that the developers don't really tell you about. That you kind of, it's basically, it's an adventure game, so they want you to stumble across shit that you didn't know exist. And you'll come up to an island and you'll find a cave, and it'll just keep getting deeper and deeper, and you'll run into all these fucking different enemies and different shrines and shit like that, and a lot of like really cool just side quest things that the developers on purpose won't tell you about, just so you stumble across it and you're like, oh shit, and you'll unlock like legendary curses for like your skin and stuff like that. And Sea of Thieves is probably my favorite game currently, just because it has that aspect of like there's always some crazy shit that you didn't know was in there, and it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a learning curve as far as like, because it's a lot slower paced too when you're coming from like Call of Duty or something like that, and you hop on Sea of Thieves and you're on a ship just kind of cruising across the ocean, island to island. It's a lot slower paced.
Yeah.
But then you get to like boss levels where there will be an island, I think it's called an Ashen Lord or something like that, and the island will have this huge red tornado kind of just swarming above it. And you get there and there's this giant skeleton pirate captain, and you'll start fighting him. He's throwing fucking flame balls and shit. And then when you get far enough into the actual battle, he'll get in this like a lineman stance kind of thing, and then he'll spit fire into the air, and a hole will open up in the sky, and like meteors will start falling all around you and shit, and it's crazy. That game can go from like 0 to 100 really quick. It's nuts.
That's cool.
It's a really fun game. I love that one.
I'm just wondering, like, where did developers start making like the same game over and over? You know, like I feel like all these open world games are all like the same, just a different theme.
For sure. I'm looking forward to the Outlaws, the Star Wars Outlaws one. That one looks like it's gonna be all right.
I don't have much trust in Star Wars games, or movies anymore either.
Dude, I get it.
I don't know. I'm like burnt out on all of it.
What about the shows? You like any of the shows? Like Mando or Ahsoka or anything?
Mandalorian was good. The last season kind of like pissed me off. It was really stupid. It was all pointless. The whole fucking season was pointless.
Well, I think there was a couple of things that fucked up that season just because it was. I think they had that whole Rangers of the Republic show that they were going to do with Cara Dune, which is Gina Carano's character.
Yeah.
And then she fucking said something on Twitter that, because everyone's so, such pussies these days.
She said something about how, like, women or like men aren't women or something like that.
I don't know. I thought hers was more political as far as like the Trump shit. I think J.K. Rowling was the one that did the where she was like, gender is a fact kind of thing or whatever.
She like retweet Trump and got canceled.
Yeah, I think Gina's. Like if I remember correctly, Gina's was something that had to do politically, like around that Trump era. And
I remember seeing that. And I was like, damn, that was like
it's nuts.
Actually, one of the cooler characters on the show.
And so and she had a whole show planned out, which I think was gonna intertwine with Mando. And then after she got canned or whatever, I think that fucked up the whole third season. And so they kind of had to like do it on a whim.
Yeah, they had to like make like a new badass female character. Yeah. And she's like not badass at all. Yeah. So it's like not working.
Dude, trust me. As a Star Wars fan, it'll always be my favorite thing ever. And I'll always worship it. But like the sequels, and some of the other shows, like the Boba Fett show, I still found enjoyment in them. But like
Boba
for the
Fett
most,
good.
it's pretty good. It's not. It's hard because you know what these characters could have been, and then they made them a certain way, and you're just like, oh man. But yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, seeing Boba Fett and Mandalorian was kind of like, I don't know, something's weird.
Yeah, the show,
like Boba Fett was supposed to be like a ruthless, like cold-blooded motherfucker. He did not give a shit about you. He just wanted his money.
Well, that was the thing about that was the thing that upset people about the Boba Fett shows, because he didn't.
He has honor all of a sudden.
He has honor all of a sudden. He wants to be the mayor of Tatooine or whatever.
Oh God!
So people were like, "What the fuck? What is this Boba Fett?"
He wouldn't want anything to do with that.
Exactly. It's like,
are you kidding me?
The really cool thing about Boba Fett was that they brought Cad Bane into live action, and he was super sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff Disney does these days. But I have faith in Dave Filoni. I think once he starts taking over on stuff, he's gonna kind of change the culture of that, because Kathleen Kennedy is really the problem. That chick's got to go.
Yeah,
she's got to pack her bags.
I've heard.
Terrible, dude. Terrible.
Like somehow she still has a job.
Terrible.
After all of this.
There's a lot of rumors that she's done after this year, because this is the last year of her contract, and she's said stuff about how like she's not interested in re-signing her contract. So
she's fucking getting shit on left and right all the time.
Everyone hates her.
She's getting bullied on social media every single day.
It's because she has to open her mouth and say some shit when it comes to like the creative process, and be like, no, it's supposed to be this way. It's like, dude, you don't know anything. Just let these fucking people create their shit without your input. Like, I don't know, man. It's
people with egos thinking they know.
Because she was there with George Lucas. She knows Star Wars. It's like, bro, that doesn't.
I know what the audience wants.
Exactly. And then she goes on the stage at Star Wars Celebration and gets booed. It's like, come on, bro. What are you doing? She's like the commissioner of the NFL. Everyone boos her every time she comes out on stage and shit.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up, but she did it to herself. I'd boo her too.
Yeah. Just fuck up something everybody loves.
Exactly. Like, those sequels were god awful. In the moment when I saw them, I was like, it was like that Star Wars is back kind of feeling. So I was like, the first watch in the theater, I was like, fuck yeah, it was awesome. And then once you start to like analyze it and really sit down and analyze the story, well, the second one actually,
even specific scenes.
Yeah, like
just like that scene made no
it was
sense.
The whole the what was it? What was the second one called? The Last Jedi? Something like that? I think it was Last Jedi. That's how much I've seen these movies like once or twice, and that's it. But that one was just so terrible. I was like, I can't believe this is a real movie that they were like, all right, let's put it out in theaters. Like,
The Last Jedi, like episode 5.
Last Jedi is episode 8.
Empire Strikes Back, huh? The Last Jedi was one of the new
episode
ones.
5 was Empire Strikes Back. Episode 6 was Return of the Jedi.
Right. Return of the Jedi. That's what I'm thinking. Not Last Jedi.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker 2 was like not good, but Palpatine is my favorite character in Star Wars. So there was like a bittersweet thing where I was like, fuck yeah, I get to see Ian McDiarmid play Palpatine again. But at the same time, I was like, Palpatine shouldn't be here right now. Yeah. So it was like, I was just really conflicted about that. And yeah, those movies are terrible. Absolutely terrible. I don't really count them in as far as like.
No, there's a lot that didn't make sense. Like, even after the very first movie, before they revealed any of the like, plot twists or anything, like in the first movie, I'm like, how the fuck is she fighting with a lightsaber?
Yeah.
Like,
like she's a Palpatine. Yeah, I'm like, oh, wow, what a fucking cop out.
What a cop out. Exactly. It's like, what a fucking cheap ass explanation. Like,
I know.
She just has these abilities.
Like, even
like, how long did Luke had to train?
Exactly. Like Luke was a fucking Skywalker, bro. And you're telling me Rey has got all these abilities right off the bat because she's a clone of Palpatine. It's like, it was weird, man. I didn't fuck with that at all. And then like the tarnishing of Luke's character when he's, about to kill. This man refused to kill Darth Vader, who was on a fucking reign of terror for 20 years because he was his father. Mm-hmm. And the moment that Ben Solo has a bad dream about something, he's like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. I'm going to kill this kid. It's like, what? Come on, dude.
They explained it as he would never let that happen again.
Exactly.
Or something. Like, oh, really? Like, because I thought he was a fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
Like,
Luke is supposed to be like the Jedi, and they gave him that slip up. Like, granted, have a slip up every now and then in your teachings, but to kill a kid because he's having like some
twice.
dark
Didn't he
thoughts?
try to kill Rey too? He tried to do it with her too, didn't he?
Luke?
Yeah. I thought he pulled the lightsaber on her too.
Dude, it's been so long since I've seen those movies. I don't remember. Yeah, I just remember him.
He tried to kill her or something, but maybe it was him. I think maybe it was a flashback I'm thinking of.
Maybe.
Like, I don't know. I kind of like don't care much about those movies, so it's hard to remember.
Dude, it was so funny because I was watching Star Wars Celebration shit, and they were talking about this new movie that they're coming out with, and they're like, it's focused around a Jedi. It takes place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker and shit like that. And everyone's like, oh shit, what's it gonna be? And Kathleen Kennedy is like, you want to meet the Jedi that's in the movie? And everyone's like, yeah. And then she's like, all right, everyone, welcome Daisy Ridley. And then literally the cheer. I felt bad for Daisy. It's not her fault, that those movies are so shitty. She was just doing her job, but like the crowd reaction went from like super hyped to just like golf claps. They're just like, okay, cool, we get another Rey movie. Like, yay.
Just continue that storyline.
It's like, bro, we don't need
nobody
this.
Liked.
Do something different. Just forget about it.
Go
to the Old Republic, bro.
Bring Mace Windu back.
Bring Mace Windu back, yeah.
Somehow, I don't care.
And that's the other thing with Star Wars, too, is like death means nothing now.
It doesn't.
Everyone survives lightsaber stabs and shit.
Like Palpatine.
Yep. As much as I love Palpatine, dude,
he's supposed to be dead, dude.
Exactly. As much as like I said, Palpatine's my favorite.
He blew up. He fucking blew up on the Death Star.
Like, oh, he had a contingency plan. Oh, of course he did. It's like
after getting thrown into a pit.
Yeah,
he just had a plan for Darth Vader throwing him into a pit. Like,
and that kind of just tarnishes his whole like. I don't know, man, because that dude. The reason he's my favorite is because he's the whole reason for those movies. Like, there would be no Star Wars without Palpatine. Without his movement and shit.
He's the one who fucking made all that happen. The whole Trade Federation and shit.
Yeah, exactly. All of it. That's why I love him so much. And plus, Ian McDiarmid is such a goddamn good actor when he's switching back and forth from being Palpatine to Sidious and shit. It's just like, and in the Clone Wars and Rebel shit is just fantastic. But
I never really got into Clone Wars.
Really?
It's like, I don't know, all the kids stuff was kind of throwing me off. It's hard to like really pay attention to the story when the droids are like fucking so retarded, dude.
Yeah, that was one of those things where like I grew up with Clone Wars, so I was able to watch it like, but it's
I tried to watch it as an adult.
It's like it can be rough, especially the first two seasons. The first two seasons are definitely like, okay, this is made for kids. But then it gets like when they get in like season, I don't know, 3 and up, maybe 4 and up, it gets pretty serious. And it gets kind of dark in some areas, and it's a lot of really good like backstory into a lot of the characters.
Like more like a Teen Titans feel.
Kind of, yeah, actually, kind of that way, because it makes Anakin's fall so much more worse, because throughout that show he's number one, he's the hero, he's like, you're the guy, and so you like find yourself really rooting for Anakin, and then you just keep forgetting. You're like, oh, fuck, this guy turns into Darth Vader.
Gosh, like this kid slaughters like 30 kids.
Exactly. He kills all the younglings and fucking
like,
destroys planets and shit. It's like, so it makes that fall for Anakin a lot more impactful if you watch like the Clone Wars and all that.
Yeah.
But me and Mark from Dead World and Shores, we're huge Star Wars nerds. So that's all we talk about and text each other. Whenever new shows are coming out, new episodes, always on each other for, did you watch it? This, and that. And but yeah, we're fucking huge on that shit. That's my life.
Star Wars is all right. I consider it more fantasy than sci-fi, though. It's definitely more magic than like science.
Yeah, especially like if you got into the Clone Wars, that's definitely true, because there's a lot of crazy like magic shit in there, like just the way they use the Force.
The Force made this happen.
Yeah,
it's like, it must have been a thing of the Force. They just like throw everything.
Well, yeah,
that.
The Force, like it moves. Everything has like is like Force sensitive in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, of course.
But like then there's like really crazy shit where they're going into different like realms and shit, and it can get confusing, but it's a real left turn from like the traditional Star Wars, because they go into like just really mystical, magical aspects of it rather than like scientific kind of, reasonings. But I love that shit. That's fucking awesome.
I like the scientific explanations for things.
Yeah.
Even if you have to make up an element or whatever, like Marvel does.
Yeah.
I liked how Marvel went into like science and shit. They went as far as they could.
Yep.
You know.
How do you feel about the MCU?
I think it was good up to like, I don't know. It didn't get very far before it started getting really, really fucking cheesy and just bland. It's probably around Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Where I kind of like was like,
yeah,
these movies are kind of like lame. They're just for the kids.
Yeah. So my my favorite comic book character is Thanos, and I remember when they teased him in, I think they teased him in Guardians.
Yeah, I remember that
at the end, and I was like, oh shit, they're fucking bringing Thanos in. And I was so pumped, and I waited 10 years. I think it was like 10 years before his actual like cinematic fucking, which was Endgame, I think, or not Endgame, Infinity War. And I remember seeing Infinity War, and I enjoyed it because they combined Infinity Gauntlet and then the other series Infinity together. They kind of mashed it together and made that movie. And I thought they did a pretty decent job. So I was like, okay, but I hated what they did to Thanos. Like his whole character of being an environmentalist and caring about the universe and
that seemed a little weird.
I was like, bro, make him the Mad Titan. Bring in Lady Death and shit. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I can't compare it much to the comics because I don't know the stories.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not huge into the Marvel comics.
Okay.
I've only really seen the movies.
You should read Thanos shit because it's brutal. It's fucking awesome.
Like, the only Marvel one I have is Fear itself.
Okay, yeah, I remember you talking about that one.
Yeah. It's like when the Red Skull's granddaughter, like, lets Odin's brother out.
Yeah, and he's all
the
fucking,
god of fear.
Yeah, god of fear. I remember you talking to that one with Eric Ellis.
Just destroys the planet just to get everybody afraid. Yep. It's a really cool story. I didn't realize, though, that I didn't need all the issues.
Yeah.
That a lot of the issues are just like, here's what this group of heroes was dealing with in the end of the world.
Yep.
You know, and like, it's just kind of like a side story.
Yeah.
So I have like fucking 8 or 9 side stories for itself up there. It's like, man, I don't even know most of these heroes.
Have you ever like looked into getting like omnibus or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
No. Oh, those are my favorite things, just because it's the whole story. Like every Christmas or my birthday or something, I'll kind of find an omnibus I want, and I'll let my mom know, and she'll get it for me. And it's just, I get this fat ass book that's like this thick that has the whole storyline. I'm like, I did that with the Green Lantern. I have the first omnibus for that, for the Jeff Johns run, and it's fantastic. I love Green Lantern too. He's awesome.
Yeah, I've heard most people who are really into DC like Green Lantern.
He's fantastic. Well, the Green Lantern and just the Lantern Corps in general is just such a cool concept. Each corpse is like based off a certain human emotion and shit, you know, willpower, fear, all that shit. And it's really cool how they play that into like power levels and what you're able to do with those abilities and shit. I just like in DC Universe Online, I'm a Blue Lantern, and that game is fun. I love that.
You make people sad.
No, Blue Lantern's hope.
Hope.
Yeah, I make them hopeful. I don't know. A sadness, I guess, would be like Black Lantern, because that's like
Black
death.
Lantern.
Yeah, that's like death.
Death.
Yeah, so
that'd be creepy.
Yeah, all the Black Lanterns look sick. I think the not the leader, I guess, but like the most powerful guy, I think, is Necron is his name. He's like the skeleton kind of mummy looking dude, and he's so sick. Yeah, badass.
Just a necro lantern.
Basically,
like raise people from the dead and shit.
Yeah, I mean, he can do shit like that. He's kind of OP. There's a whole storyline, I haven't gotten to it, called Blackest Night, and it has to do with like the Lanterns kind of teaming up to take down the Black Lanterns and shit. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it looks fucking incredible.
Nice.
Yeah. Same thing with the DC death metal. That shit's cool too.
Oh yeah, I've seen those issues.
Yeah, my buddy let me borrow those, and it was great storyline for sure. Really gritty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem with getting like these indie comics is sometimes that like they'll lose funding before they finish.
Yeah.
They'll just quit writing. Like I have a couple series up there that will never get an ending.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
Fuck,
comics is tough, bro. I used to want to be a comic book like either writer or artist, but it's like that's like full time. Like every single day you're working on that shit just to hope in hopes that you're gonna break through or fucking, you know.
It's definitely not an industry like that's helpful for the artist.
Yeah.
Like it's not lucrative for the artist, dude.
Yeah. And even comic book shop owners, like me and my brother were looking into at one point, we're like, we should open up a comic shop and fucking run it out of Gilbert or whatever. And
It's a lot of
I kind of
work.
looked into it. Yeah. And I was reading some articles about like comic book shop owners, and they were like, if you want to work every single day, like 10 plus hours a day to, you know, kind of make a decent living, then sure, go open a comic book shop. But if you want to live comfortably and do this and that, don't open a comic book shop.
I mean, what if you had a comic book shop, but then you like did a supplement to it, like, you know, like a podcast about comics?
Oh, for sure.
You know, with that. And then that would bring people into the shop as well as like, you know.
I think that's what you'd have to do to make it successful, because there's some shops that are like, we sell comics and we have a coffee shop in the same place, so you can get coffee and exactly, or
card
magic
shop
tournaments.
in the side too.
Exactly.
Have you been to Jesse James Comics?
That's in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
I think I've been there once.
It's
pretty
cool.
big, isn't it?
Well, they just expanded it too, so now they have like an
Damn.
arcade on the side
Oh,
too.
shit.
So they have an arcade in there.
Oh, you know
It's
what?
fucking dope.
Yeah. I've been there once. I checked it out once, and I remember seeing a bunch of arcade shit in there, but it wasn't plugged in. It wasn't working.
They got it set up now.
Let's go.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that shop a lot.
I used to go to a place, they closed down, called All About Books and Comics.
Dude, that was my favorite,
Dude,
man.
That place
That was my favorite
magical.
fucking shop.
That place was magical. I remember watching it or walking in there and just being like, holy shit.
Dude, when I saw they were going out of business, I was so
Sad.
fucking sad, man.
And I live in Chandler, so it's not like I'm just gonna hop in the car and go to Phoenix every fucking weekend or every, you know.
Yeah.
So it was just like that was that one shop where it was like a treat. It was like going to Disneyland. I'd be like, fuck yeah, let's go to All About Books and
Hell yeah,
Comics and
man.
fucking dude, that place was amazing.
Yeah, I got a lot of these comics from there. But the reason I liked it is because it reminded me of the comic shop that I got most of my collection.
Yeah.
When I was in the Navy in Maryland, there was this little comic shop called Third Eye Comics.
Cool.
I don't know if they're still there. Shout out to Third Eye Comics if you still exist. But
yeah, man.
But yeah, I just liked it because they had all the trade paperbacks like along the walls, just on the shelves, just like All About Books and Comics did.
Yep.
And like those are the only two comic shops I've ever seen that had that design.
Yeah.
Like just trades and all the way around the whole fucking thing. Like
Insane, dude.
many issues.
Insane, like unnecessary issues, but it was like that place was like, if you're looking for something specific, most likely they got it.
Oh yeah.
Every time. Yeah, that place was awesome. I used to have I remember, have you ever been to Gotham City Comics, downtown Mesa by the Nile?
No.
Next time you're in downtown Mesa, try to check it out. It's not anything crazy, but it's a decent comic book shop. And I went there and I saw Ghost Rider is one of my favorite heroes. And I saw his first issue that he ever had, and I bought it for like $60. And I was so proud of that. And then I got down low on money and shit, and I was like struggling. I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to sell this comic. And this was like a couple years later. And I went back into Gotham City Comics, and I gave them the Ghost Rider, and I was like, how much would you give me this for? They're like, oh, we can give it to you for like $30. And I was just like, oh. But I was like so down low, I needed it.
Oh,
dude, and that was literally like when I handed it to the guy and he grabbed it, like I had like that grip on it for a second where I was just like, I can't believe I'm letting this go. And I just left my hands, never saw it again. And I was just like, that is my biggest, like, when it comes to collecting, because I collect comics, action figures, and all that shit. That was the roughest for me. I felt like I was giving up my child for adoption or something like that. It was terrible. It was terrible.
You know, Ghost Rider is rumored to come back in Deadpool 3.
Really?
Nick Cage.
What?
Yeah. That's
dude,
what I
that'd
heard.
be sick. That'd be actually
Nicolas
be sick.
Cage
I'd be there for that.
Back as Ghost Rider.
Dude, when you know what, Nicolas
What a
Cage,
stupid fucking movie. But if he came
terrible,
back,
terrible. But there's something about those movies that are still like really enjoyable. Like that scene where he's in the jail cell and he's like turning into Ghost Rider and he's holding on to the bars and getting all crazy and shit. He's laughing all maniacally. It's so cheesy and so Nick Cage, but it's like it works, dude.
Yeah,
Nick Cage is
that's crazy.
He came back in. Did you see The Flash?
No.
Are you going to? I don't want to spoil it for you or anything like that.
I mean, I might. I'm not too. interested, honestly.
Did you ever hear about how Nick Cage had like a Tim Burton Superman film he was making?
Mm-mm.
So Tim Burton was in production to make this Superman film, and Nick Cage was Superman, and he had this really terrible costume. It was like all like metallic blue and red, and it was really low cut around his chest, so it kind of showed his chest hair a little bit, and he had long brown hair. It never got off the ground, and they never produced it. But in the Flash movie, because it deals with like going into different universes and shit like that, there's a scene with Nick Cage. He's CGI'd and shit because he's flying around, but Superman's fucking up stuff, and from behind he has the long brown hair, and then he does like a slow turn while he's floating in the air and looks at the camera, and it's Nick Cage, and from that, it's hilarious. Like, that's cool that they brought that back. But
was it actually like he's Superman in that movie?
Yeah, but it was just a cameo. Like he wasn't like a character or anything like that.
It was like a trailer. I don't even think in the show or in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't even have dialogue. It was just like a quick scene of Flash while he's running through these universes or whatever, and he's seeing all these different counter superheroes.
It's like an alternate universe.
Yeah, like an alternate universe.
Okay, I
see.
And
so he sees them. He just sees them flying around, fucking up some giant monster or something, and he turns around. It's the Nick Cage from the Tim Burton film that was supposed to happen.
That's pretty fucking funny, actually.
It is actually. It was hilarious. But yeah, I actually looked that scene up. I haven't seen The Flash, but I just looked that scene up because I heard about it. I was like, no fucking way.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that, like some sort of like Nicolas Cage cameo in The Flash. I was like, I didn't really know much about it.
I love Nicolas Cage. Con Air is probably one of my favorite movies ever.
I wanted to see that movie Pig. That movie he wrote.
Which one was that?
It came out like a couple years ago, I think. But it's
he does some weird shit now.
Yeah. It's just a weird story about this old dude and his like, I don't know if it's like a competition pig or something.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I don't know what the premise is about. I remember seeing the trailer and being super confused.
Isn't it like he's in like a truffle pig or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah. Like some sort of high value pig.
For sure.
Like that's like his prized possession or something.
Yeah, he's made some weird ass movies, man. Like there's one that I want to watch. Can't remember what it's called, but it has to do with him going and working at this. It's like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of vibe. Where he goes and works at this like it's either an arcade or some kind of like a Peter Piper pizza type shit where like or Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
And all the shit comes alive at night or whatever, and he like doesn't talk throughout the whole movie, but he like whoops ass, and it's supposed to be like it's like really gory and shit, but all these like practical effects, monsters and stuff, he's just destroying them.
He doesn't talk at all.
It's like, I think it's called like Willy's Wonderland or something like that. Something.
Yeah, that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that movie.
Yeah, it's a couple years old. I think it's like 2 or 3 years old. So you might have.
I don't know. Weird. Yeah, it sounds so familiar.
Yeah.
Is that what... Was it based on Five Nights at Freddy's?
No, it's not based off it, but it's definitely like you watch it and you're like, okay, this is kind of like they definitely probably got that idea from Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that, because he's whooping, animatronic creatures.
Yeah.
But when he destroys them, they're like they're bleeding and shit like that. So it's like they're weird.
Well, he's just hallucinating.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's like the end of the movie. It's like he wakes up. There's like nothing there.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta take a piss real quick, dude.
Yeah, sure. We can pause.
Sweet.
All right, we're back.
I had to do it.
Everybody has to do that now.
It's a great intro, though, dude. I genuinely So I was listening to I think it was Wade's podcast.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how you wanted to make this thing like in a sense like a beacon of unity for like the scene. The musical scene and
That's
shit.
always my goal.
Dude, honestly, I really think you're doing it because it's fucking awesome. I genuinely every week look forward to a new episode.
Yeah?
Because I get to hear all my friends that I know and shit talk about their life and stuff.
Hell yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Dude, yeah, for real. You really are doing a good thing. I think it's a slow process, just like with music and shit. But
I just looked at the fucking first episode the other day, the one with Attila.
Yeah.
And I looked at the date. I was like, what the fuck? That was 2 years ago. I've been doing this 2 years? Like, what the fuck?
It's nuts. I do the same thing with music. I'll look back and I'm like, holy shit. I've
been telling people a year and a half.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Nope.
It's a slow process, but dude, you're getting there. I think you're going to really you're going to do something really cool with the scene. People are gonna want to be coming on this shit all the time.
Put in the fucking hours and do the work though.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
I'm really good at procrastinating.
Yeah, me too. It's a
fucking ADHD, man.
Yeah, that's me too, man. Like when it comes to making music, it's just like I really hope someone in the band is a lyricist because I don't write shit. Luckily, Nate and Andre are both they write lyrics. So
just come with a page of like poems, like limericks or something. You're like, this is all I got, guys.
I just do Mad Libs. Yeah, basically. I'm like, what do you think of this?
Just plagiarize Dr. Seuss.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like, what?
But yeah, dude, you're killing it. I genuinely, like, every week, like when I messaged you that one time, I was like, no episode this week, bro? What's going on? Like,
oh yeah,
I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah, shit just got crazy that week. I don't know.
Yeah,
I try to schedule them, but sometimes people back out or they have to like push it back a week or two, and sometimes I'll try to like squeeze someone in, like hey man, can you do a podcast in a couple days?
Yeah,
like can you fucking get in to record?
Yeah,
but sometimes I'll just let it go. Like I'll just take the week off. Like I need to.
Yeah, you got to take a week off every now and then.
I need to fucking, I don't know.
Especially if it becomes like a full-time thing, you got to have some time off,
Yeah, and I've been switching jobs a lot, so it kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Starting a new job Wednesday.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing AV work again. But
damn.
I'm going to be installing like video walls and shit.
Damn.
And like the company I'm going to, they have a bunch of the casino contracts.
Oh, cool.
So I might be working in like Desert Diamond and shit like that.
Sweet.
It'd be fun though. I think we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't when I work it has to be physical labor shit. Otherwise I'll blow my brains out.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of sitting at a desk, like sitting still for too long.
Yeah, I had one job like that and I got fired from it for a reason because I was just surfing the web the whole time. I was so bored.
Yeah. I definitely got fired from a desk job before.
Yep.
But that's just because of the nature of it, and I don't have patience at all.
Yep.
Especially for like people. When people are fucking with me, I get mad real quick.
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking like I don't take it well. And I start physically getting mad, like, oh my God, dude.
Yep.
Like I was doing collections at Discover.
Ooh.
So yeah, people were fucking with me every single day.
My guitarist Andre for Dead World, he does something similar to that. Actually, I don't know. I think he might have gotten a new job recently, but he's been doing that for years. And sometimes he'll text in the group chat and just tell us some crazy stories about like these people that owe money and shit, and he's got to get it from them. I'm like, bro, I couldn't imagine being in that position to be like, hey man, you got to give me money. Sorry. Like,
yeah, and then what do? You're just the instrument of like,
and then you get they fucking take it all out on you.
Well, yeah, you're the weapon that's ruining their life.
Exactly.
Like you might not be the one pulling the trigger, but you are the trigger. Like,
yeah,
you're fucking them over.
No way.
You're the gun.
Yeah, dude. Couldn't do it. Not me. That's rough.
Yeah, it's it got pretty bad. Like, the first like few months of it, I was just leaving messages. That was my whole job.
Okay,
they called it a miner.
Yeah.
Like you're mining for callbacks. Like you're just trying to get people to call back in. And I was really good at it because everybody else would just be like, "Hi, this is Discover. We want to talk to you about a special offer." Like some stupid voice, and like fucking I would just call and be like,
"I know where you are."
Kind of like with that tone, like Liam Neeson, like, fucking like, "Hi, this is Spencer from Discover. Like, we want to talk to you.
We got a problem here."
Yeah, exactly. It was like that kind of tone. Like we got an offer for you, and we need you to call back if you want to take advantage of it. Like I'm a real person. Talking to you. I know you fucking owe money.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be happy.
Yep.
We're not smiling over here.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It's not a happy.
I don't want to do this, but I have to.
Yeah, it's like, and dude, I would get so many more callbacks than everybody.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
being real, like,
not being a robot.
Yeah, it's like they can hear you're a real person, but they still see you as a robot.
For sure.
And then I got promoted to actually talking to real people.
That's when it got rough.
Yep, that's when I started getting really mad, and my coworkers fucking turned me in, dude. They started talking to the manager about how mad I was getting.
That's shitty, dude. Fuck those guys.
Like, dude, I was making people uncomfortable. I don't blame them, man. They're like sitting there trying to do their office job, and they look over, and I'm like, like I have somebody on hold, and I'm like fucking freaking out, like oh my God, dude.
Yeah, dude,
like,
I couldn't do that shit. I kind of did some. It wasn't customer service, but it it wasn't even sales either. I was just the guy in between. Like I'd send them to a salesperson or I'd send them to, whoever needed to talk to. But I would get customers that I'd answer the phone and they're just right off the bat like, motherfucker, this and that, and this isn't working. My money, this and that.
Yep.
And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I got to get you to somewhere that someone can help you. And they'd get so fucking pissed. And this dude was chewing me out. And I was like, all right, let me get you to your sales rep or whatever that you went through. And I sent him to this one guy. His name was Steven. He's an old school guy. He's probably like in his now he's probably in his 60s. But he doesn't take shit from anyone. I don't know how this guy still works there because the way he talks to people, but he makes money for the company. So like this guy was going off on me and I transferred him over to him. I was like, hey, Steve. I was like, this guy is going crazy, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, all right, cool. Send him over. I sat on the call for a little bit and listened to them talk. Hey, this is Steve with Next Steve or whatever. How can I help you? Guy starts chewing him out instantly. Steve's like, no, we're not going to do it like this. He's like, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm here to help you and figure out your situation. We're not going to do it like this way. And then he kind of just belittled the guy. And then the dude,
like you're a child.
Yeah. And the guy instantly was just like, all right, well, what do we have to do then? Like, let's just get this figured out. I was like, that's fucking gangster, dude.
It's fucking Stonewall.
Literally, dude. Literally. I was like, damn. No. He's like, no, we're not doing it this way. He's like, I can either help you and you can change your tone, or I can hang up on you and this and that.
I want to use that in my daily life.
Yeah, dude.
We're not doing it this way.
No, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go.
That's fucking good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Use that on the dudes outside of QT.
But I mean, as a salesman, he probably deals with that shit all the time, So it's like, eventually you got a tough skin for it or something. But
yeah, some people are just built for it.
Yeah,
it doesn't faze them. They don't care.
Yeah, not me.
They don't care if you're fucking pissed at them. Like
I'm really good at I'm a patient guy. It takes a lot to really piss me off. So usually I can handle like the berating and shit like that customers and all that can give you. But yeah, I mean,
it's not like the berating that was killing me. Like if you start cussing me out, like it's not that I'm good at dealing with it. I'll check out. Yeah. I'm gone. Like
you just don't want to help them anymore.
I'm not listening anymore. Like I'm gone, dude.
Yep.
And I might as well just be at home.
Yep.
And so it's what was really pissing me off is the fact that like I had to get that money, and if they hang up, I fail.
Yeah.
And like that goes against my record.
Yep.
And that makes me a bad employee. So I'm like, I'm doing my job poorly if they hang up.
Yeah.
They would always hang up. And I was just like, I'll never get that. Like, okay, yeah, I'll pay you this much. Like who do we have to transfer to or whatever? Like it was never easy.
Yep.
Like you had to convince them.
Yeah, and that was the one thing I hate about the desk job is that there was what would you call that? Like where like in order to keep your job, you had to hit certain numbers and shit like that. I don't know the exact word for that, but that was the same thing.
The metrics.
The metrics of it all.
You got to hit the metrics.
Exactly. And they're like we would have to cold call people, and it didn't count as a call until they either picked up or went to their voicemail.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So I would just call, and like sometimes I'd let it ring for a couple seconds and I'd just hang up the phone because I didn't feel like talking to anyone. I thought that counted as a call and shit. And then my manager would pull me over. He's like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
hang up on like 40 people today.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. But yeah, the metrics. If it involves metrics, count me out. That's why it's
too robotic, man.
Too much, bro. Like I do pest control, so it's like I deal with customers still face to face, but they've been with this company for so many years that's like they're cool with whatever. Sometimes if you fuck up, the only person that's hearing it is my boss.
Yeah.
And my boss is really chill. So he understands how people can be. So it's never like he never comes down on you. He's like, you gotta fucking get your shit together and all that. But yeah, it can be difficult. I have a couple customers that are like, because each customer has a 2-hour time frame for when I show up to their house. And I'll show up to someone's house like after the first hour and a half into their 2-hour time frame. And I'll knock the door. They're like, you're late. I'm like, nope, I still have 30 minutes until the end of your time frame, so we're good. And they'll be like, yeah, well, I have this and that to do, this and that. I was like, well, you should have told us that you fucking had that shit, and then we would have arranged it so that we can could have got you
You
done.
could have said something.
There's just certain customers that just think like, I don't know, you're just programmed to do this shit perfectly every single time. It's nuts.
Yeah, man. It was kind of almost the opposite when I was working pool electric. I'd be working in people's backyards, like doing the conduit for the light and then wiring the motor and shit like that. And it was literally just like a hole in the ground with rebar. And you would show up and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're the electricians here to do the light," and they'd be like, "Really? Thank God." We've been waiting for someone to come work on this pool forever. Yeah. Like they just sit there for months.
Yep.
Like waiting to get scheduled for, concrete or whatever. Concrete's always backed up because there's only like the shotcrete to fill a pool. It's literally pressurized hose that spits out concrete and slaps it against the wall.
Yeah.
It's like this really sticky concrete. It's like a special, and it's got a bunch of fiberglass in there or some shit, I think.
Yeah.
But it's like a really specialized truck. It only does that.
Yep.
It's like they only do swimming pools with that truck. It's like specialized equipment. So there's only so many of them in Arizona.
Yeah.
And like when the work fluctuates, it's not like people are buying and selling those trucks, So there's like a set number of those trucks. Nobody's getting new ones. Nobody's giving away their old ones.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the bottleneck with all of it.
Yeah.
So pools will be like fucking 4 or 5 months behind schedule.
Jesus.
And the electricians show up, and the homeowners are just so happy. Yeah, they're like, "Fuck yeah, we're one more step closer to our pool." It was pretty cool. It was like they were so happy to see you.
Yeah, I used to do glass, so I'd install windows and showers and mirrors and stuff. That was difficult because people would be so pumped to see you when you got there, but if something fucked up, it was like, they wouldn't have, if we fucked up, obviously it wasn't on them. They wouldn't have to pay for shit.
Yeah.
But it was like the disappointment of installing a shower and just one little nick of that glass hitting the tile in the concrete or in the shower or something like that. The whole either chips or it shatters to pieces, and it's just like, oh. And when you'd have blowouts in someone's bathroom, you'd have a big piece of 3/8 thick glass trying to install, and all of a sudden that shit just explodes on you, and there's glass everywhere, scratching tile and all that. It's just like, oh my God. That job was tough, dude. It paid well, but goddamn, it was tough for sure. Because once you fuck up the house, like installing something that you're not supposed to fuck up, like if I'm taking out a window or something and we fuck up something outside of that frame, that's not our problem anymore. That has to be, now we have to call in someone to come fix that shit before we have to do our shit. It's just like, oh, it is the worst. So I was like, I couldn't do that for that much longer. Plus it took a toll on my back, dude. That shit gave me, that
fucking glass is heavy.
That shit gave me a tweak in my back, and it was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, man. I was in pool electric, you're digging trenches all the time.
No.
Using a jackhammer.
Oh.
And like I recently went back to pool electric for because the company I was at doing AV work was just shitty, man. The management just sucked really bad, and they couldn't get their scheduling down. And everybody's getting switched from nights to days, and nobody knew where their jobs were and like what was going on. The warehouse was all fucked up.
Yeah.
Never had the right equipment. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
I don't know how they made money.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of government contracts, I guess.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, dude.
But I went back to pool electric, so I hadn't dug holes in like a year and a half.
Ooh.
And
you felt it.
I get back on the truck with my buddy. My buddy like convinced me to come back to pool electric with him. It was just me and him on a truck for this pool company. And a couple weeks into that, he gets laid off. Now I'm running the truck by myself. And then the day that he wasn't with me, like the day after he got laid off or fired or whatever, I had to do this long ass dig on this commercial site, like super hard dirt that had like concrete and blocks and rocks in it and shit. And I was digging for like 3 hours, dude.
Oh my God.
The next like 2 or 3 days, I was fucking dead. I had like 2 blisters on each hand. Like I was like so fucked.
That's nuts, dude. Like I used to work for Safe Light, and I did that for a couple years, and that was the worst job I've ever had in my life, just because it was so, like, the summers were the worst thing on the planet, because you're going in and out of cars that have been cooking in the sun all day long, sweating your ass off, and then on top of that, you're working on people's cars. Like, aside from their house, the most precious thing they have. And if you fuck up scratch their paint, you get the wrong windshield or something like that, and you already have the old windshield taken out and shit like that, they're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And so there'd be a lot of days where I'd roll up to a job and I'd have a windshield, and you're supposed to check and shit, but sometimes it's hard because you have this windshield number on it. It tells you, okay, this is the windshield for the car. You uninstall the windshield in the car, and when you do that, most likely the original glass is breaking as you're taking it out and shit. And then you get to the point where you're about to set the new windshield in, and you go and you're trying to arrange it and you're setting it down, and then it doesn't fit right, and you're like, it's the wrong fucking windshield. And now this person has no windshield in their car. We have to either wait until, we get the glass that same day. Someone's got to go to the warehouse, bring it out to you. Dude, I've had days where I started work at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't get off until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night because I was because I was all the way out in fucking like Greenfield and Riggs, and then the warehouse that Safe Flight uses is in Phoenix. So I had to wait for a dude to go to Phoenix, pick up the glass, drive it all the way out to me in South Gilbert. Dude, that job. And it would be like 9-10 installs a day, mobilely. Talk about fucking wearing you out, dude. It was nuts.
Yeah,
absolutely nuts.
Fun.
Not fun at all. The worst job I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't want to work on people's cars.
That was the scariest part, because there were some people that were like car people, like, and you'd roll up to a nice brand new. One time I worked on this lady, and she had like a 2020 Mustang, cherry red.
A Mustang person.
Yeah, like perfect pristine condition. And that was like my first week by myself as a mobile technician. Nailed the install, nailed everything. I was like, let's fucking go. I drive away, and I get brought into the office the next day. And they're like, Connor, do you remember the Mustang that you worked on yesterday? I was like, yeah. And they're like, are you missing a pig's foot, which is like a tool that they use to pop off like the little caps in the cowl of the car. I was like, yeah, actually I am. I was like, I don't know where the fuck it went. I had it yesterday and it's gone. And then my boss like pulls it out of his pocket, and he's like, you left this under the hood of the Mustang, and the lady drove away, and it punctured her coolant fan and shit like that, and fucked up, like, it was like $2,800 worth of damage. That little tiny,
oh my God,
fucking pig's foot.
Like the worst freak accident that could have happened.
So when she took off, that thing was just bouncing around inside of her engine and shit, fucking up everything. And she's like, she had to get towed off the freeway onto a dealer and stuff like that. And obviously they covered the expenses, but that was like, they're like, we're like, we know you're brand new and shit, but we got to write you up for that one. And I was like, fuck. But they're like, if you continue to do a good job and stuff, we'll, it'll be like it never happened, this write up and shit. So I was just like, all right, man. But when you hear stuff like that and you're like, fuck, I fucked up someone's car, it's like, it sucks. That's for sure. Dude.
For sure, man.
Especially in the world we live today, people need cars. It's nuts. You can't go anywhere without it.
Well, not in Phoenix.
Yeah, true.
There's places you don't need it, but true. Phoenix,
this is
a car place.
In like Chandler, Gilbert, and shit. Like, yeah, you need a car to get to places. Especially Santan Valley, there ain't shit out there except for houses, and then 20-minute drive to
public transportation is just optics, dude. It's not actually useful here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, you need a fucking car if you're gonna live like on your own.
Yeah, for sure. I hate cars. I'm not a car guy.
I'm not a car guy either, man.
I hate them. Like, they cost money, and they keep costing money. They have problems. You got to fix shit. I'm like, God damn it,
my truck's
bro.
got a problem right now. I don't know what the fuck it is.
Dude, I just literally finished paying off the car we had. And then my wife was driving it, and she got to a stoplight, and then it just shook, and then it turned off. And then she couldn't turn it on again. Luckily, I have one of my best friends. He's actually my son's godfather. He's a car guy. He's like a guru. And him and his buddy came over that he lives with, and they took off all the shit, and they got into the engine, and they're like, dude, you got an oil leak that is like insane. And I guess like some chain got slipped in there, which helps start the engine. And he was like, you could fix this if you wanted to, but he's like, there's so much oil damage in here. there could be other problems that it's caused other than this. And he's like, you're looking at thousands of dollars to like get this thing fixed. And I was like, well, time to get a new car. Yeah. I was like, of course, when I fucking literally just get done paying off this car, I have to go get a new one and make payments again. It sucked. But the car we have now is really nice and I love it. So it's just, man, I thought we were getting a break for a second, but the universe was like, fuck you, dude. Take this.
Yeah, that shit's wild, dude. There's just so many moving parts. I don't understand it.
Me neither.
It's like, I don't know. The only problem in my truck right now, thank God, is I mean, it kind of sucks because we're in Phoenix, but the blower motor that blows the fans for the AC.
Oh, you're driving around with no AC?
The AC works,
but it's like muggy.
But it doesn't. The fans don't blow.
Oh,
so it's cold air in there inside the pipes, but the fans aren't blowing air. There's no fan to blow the air, so I have to drive like on the freeway. It's like I have AC.
Yeah.
So it's because like 80 miles an hour on the fucking freeway.
Wow.
Pushing air through the vents. Like it's cold. It's cold ass air. So the AC is great.
So like if you're driving down the street, it's just leaking out kind of like the air. It's not even like blowing out.
Yeah, it doesn't blow at all.
Oh my God,
so
dude.
It's like, it's frustrating. It used to click on like randomly. Like it was weird. I think it's the blower motor itself, or maybe like the connection to the blower motor. Something's like, not connecting right. But whenever I'd hit a bump really hard, it would turn on and the fans would blow. It's like, oh shit, it's back on. And I could like turn the AC up.
Yeah, the car that we had, the one that was paid off before it took a shit, had the same kind of problem, but it wouldn't blow out AC at all. And so it would be like a chance game, like where every time we get in the car, we're like, all right, let's see if this bitch fucking fires up the AC. Turn on the car. Sometimes it just wouldn't be on. Like, fuck. And then we drive it for like 10, 15 minutes and then it would just kick on. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, that's what happened. And then you roll the windows up.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly what's happening with my truck.
Yeah. So I don't know what it is.
Just recently it's been going to where when it kicks on, it starts really low.
Okay.
And then it starts getting stronger and stronger. Yeah. So I think this whole fucking thing where it's been kicking on randomly, like I think it's been burning out the motor.
Probably.
So I think the motor's probably fried. I need to get like just a new one and replace it.
Yeah, definitely do that, dude. Because I couldn't imagine.
Hopefully it fixes it, man. I'm not a car guy, so I don't know.
I don't know.
Like,
yeah,
I hope that's the problem.
I'm like, dude, when it comes to the point where I'm gonna have my buddy as long as both me and him are alive. But my dad is a car guy, and that dude's dropped like transmissions into Suburbans by himself and shit like that. And so he's like one of those guys. Yeah. And when I don't have my dad anymore, that's when it's like, fuck, what the hell am I going to do? Like when I have car problems, it's either I'm calling Dylan or I got to take this bitch to a shop and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix this motherfucker.
Just ask around, man.
Yeah,
true. A lot of people in the metal scene, like
definitely
car guys.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, that's what I'm
find somebody.
Yeah. That's the benefit is that like my kid's godfather is like a car guru. So I'm going to have him for a while and he's not going anywhere. So he'll definitely hook me up every now and then. He had like his garage is built for working on cars. He's got like an AC unit and shit in there, TVs and big fucking tool boxes and shit. But yeah, I fucking hate cars, man. I can appreciate a nice looking one, but like I'm not like,
I think they
holy
look cool.
shit, like look at that fucking car. It's got a V8 motor and this and that. Not me.
Fucking I don't know. People start describing like an engine. They just rattle off a couple numbers like, oh yeah, it's got a blah 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 351 or whatever, and I'm like, okay.
That was my least favorite part about working for Safe Flight is because I'd get to someone's house and they'd have a super nice car, and then they assume that I'm a car guy, and so they start talking about it, and I'd have to like shake my head and be like, damn, that's crazy, that's fucking awesome. Like I know what they're talking about. Like, dude, just let me
start asking them questions like, oh, is that good? Is that a good motor?
And they're just like, yeah, bro, it's a good motor. What the fuck? You're all offended.
How am I supposed to know, dude? I just do windshields.
Exactly. I work on windshields, dude. I'm not working on your engine. Yeah.
Never driven a car in my life.
I walked here with your windshield.
Lying.
Yeah. That should
be good, dude.
Dude, so I listened to that on the way here because I wanted to be fresh. I listened to that Opeth track you told me to listen to, the Black Road.
Oh, Black Road's Immortal?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's long as hell.
Fucking 20 minutes. That's
good,
crazy. Though. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't, I don't know if that's my style. And it's weird because like...
It's slow.
Pink Floyd is my favorite band of all time.
Oh, they're slow too.
They're slow too, but there's something. I don't know. There's something about Pink Floyd that's
they have like funk. Opeth doesn't use in funk.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm not really like. It's funny that like my favorite band of all time is literally like basically the innovators of progressive music.
Yeah,
but I'm not a huge progressive music guy. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm really weird with my music too. I'm like really picky.
Yeah,
like, I'm like all over the place. You know, I'll like a band from this genre, but only that band.
Yeah,
you know, not the rest of the genre. You know, shit like that.
Yeah, that's how I am too. But I listen to like some off the wall. Like I listen to a lot of shit, not just metal, but it's just it's really I'm really picky with that shit too. Like I'll find. Like I enjoy deathcore, but it's not my favorite form of metal. Just because I like with melodic death metal and shit like that, I love like the intricacy of it and shit. Deathcore is like a mood genre for me, where I'm like, if I'm pissed or if I'm like just in the mood for like smashing someone's face in or something, deathcore for sure. Give me some sick breakdowns. But like if I want to like intellectually kind of like. Not that deathcore is not an intellectual form of music, but if I really want to sit and listen to music and think about it,
not. We all know deathcore.
I'm just trying not to offend my friends.
They won't be offended. They get it. They know, dude.
But like, if I want to really sit and listen and think about music, it's always like usually like melodic death metal, like Dahlia and shit like that, where I'm just like, dude, how the fuck do they play their instruments like this?
Fucking art. Like that's one of my favorite bands. Like
that is my favorite metal band.
That's definitely my favorite like death metal band for sure.
Yeah.
But like from like the lyrics to the guitar melodies, like dude, everything about it is so fucking carefully like laid out. Like I don't know, man. There's something about it that's just like fucking just a little bit higher tier than all the other bands in that genre.
I don't think there will ever be a writer like Trevor Sturnad.
No, dude.
That dude was meant to write death metal lyrics. And like he did it in a way that was like poetry, like straight up fucking poetry, dude. It was nuts.
Yeah, I heard him called the Stephen King of death metal.
Oh yeah,
because like no doubt, just write
no doubt
anything, dude.
No doubt. And Andre, thankfully, he takes a lot of influence from Trevor. So a lot of Dead World songs have that kind of theme.
Yeah.
And I love Andre. Cool. I love Andre to death. But I mean, you know, no one ever is gonna be Trevor Sturnad, but it's damn close. Andre's more like Lovecraftian. So he writes a lot of really cool like Eldritch Terror shit like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you listen to the Dead World stuff?
I haven't listened to a lot of it.
Okay.
I've heard it, but
yeah, if you do, look up the lyrics because it's really like I think you'll enjoy them because they're very Trevor Sturnad-y. They're
I like the fantasy, like
for sure,
you know, epic. Like the epic kind of lyrics.
Like I'll be like
Castlevania bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll be recording the songs or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck these words mean. Like he'll throw words in there because I'm a dumbass, and I'm just like
visceral.
No, I know visceral, but he'll have like just like really crazy vocabulary. But Andre's also, I'm pretty sure he's like an English major, so he has that background, and he'll throw words in there. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this word means, and I'll have to look him up, and then it'll help me understand the meaning of the song more. But
well, maybe he's teaching you.
Maybe. But like, I'll never grasp it. I'll never be
learning vocabulary, dude.
Yeah, it is cool. Like his words definitely help me like bring the songs to life, or you know, in a way like that's like I can kind of give it its own life in a way where if I understand the song and what it's trying to say, that affects my vocal delivery of it, you know. But yeah, it's really great stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I really like the style of lyrics, though. Fucking dark.
Yes, for sure. Like, I remember reading the lyrics to The Window, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, I cannot believe this man. Like, it's really good lyrics, but like, fuck, it's brutal as shit. Like, I don't know how he got away with that shit. It's brutal.
Yeah, there's some of them that are just insanely, like, graphic.
Very graphic.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like it makes Cannibal Corpse look like Frank Sinatra or something.
Like my favorite song, Death Mask Divine.
Oh, so good.
He literally, it's like a love song.
Yeah.
But it's about his girlfriend that he's like preserving her corpse so he can stare into her eyes forever.
Yep.
It's like, how romantic.
Yeah. It's like that
like
shit.
Jesus.
Yeah, that shit makes like what's that song by? Are you Avenged Sevenfold fan at all?
Not really. No.
What was that song? Little Piece of Heaven. Do you remember that song at all?
Mm-mm.
It's kind of similar. It's so Avenged Sevenfold for me was like a gateway band for me for metal and shit.
Yeah.
When I was in 6th grade, this dude, we had little computers in our classroom. He's like, and me and him hit it off because we both liked the creepy stuff like Halloween and shit. And he was like, "Have you ever heard of Avenged Sevenfold?" I was like, "No, I have no idea who that is." And in the middle of the classroom, when we're having like activity time or whatever, he pulls up the video for Backcountry, and we're listening to it. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Because I had never heard anything like fast and heavy like that. I was raised on AC/DC and Aerosmith and Pink Floyd and stuff. So
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica was probably the heaviest thing I heard. Actually,
Pantera.
A little bit of Pantera, but like, if I don't even know if you would call this heavy, but like my brother was like into like Rage Against the Machine, and he was into Limp Bizkit a lot. I can't stand Limp Bizkit anymore, but he rolling. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, Fred Durst, man, he just gets under my skin. But yeah, he showed me that Backcountry video, and it fucking changed my world, and that's when I started getting into the shit. But Little Piece of Heaven is a really cool like animated music video about this guy who is in love with this girl, and she turns him down, and he murders her, and he like animates her corpse to be like his woman, and then her corpse becomes like sentient, and she murders him for what he did to her, and then they end up like falling in love in the end as these animated corpses and shit. It's really it's a cool song.
Sounds
but
like a Tim Burton movie.
It's really Tim Burton-esque. If you watch the music video, definitely Tim Burton like kind of shit there. But yeah, I have a soft spot for Avenged Sevenfold.
My gateway was System of a Down.
Oh man, that's like, another one my brother was really into.
That was like the heaviest band I was listening to when I was like a kid.
Yeah.
It was like my buddy Josh showed me System of a Down. I remember my dad was always listening to like Metallica and Pantera. Yeah. And he got into like, I don't know, he wasn't super into like heavy stuff. Like those are probably like the heaviest bands he liked. And then like everything that he would actually like listen to and sing. Cause like my dad, he sang in a cover band for I don't know how many fucking years, for a long time. He's always been a singer, but he would sing like Audio Slave and like stuff like that. More like rock.
How old's your dad?
Kind of, like, I don't want to say the wrong number. I don't know, like
late 50s, you'll say?
Late 50s. Late 50s, let's say.
Yeah, my dad is going to turn 60 next year. And so he was the same way. Like the heaviest thing he listened to was probably Metallica. But he raised me on shit like I said, like Aerosmith was a big one for me. They were my first concert ever with Motley Crue.
Oh yeah, he'll defend Aerosmith to the death. And I'll just talk shit about him every
you
time.
You like Aerosmith?
No, not really.
Man, Steven Tyler is like an innovator of screaming.
I think that he can do some interesting things with his voice.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it. I think his
Aerosmith.
Voice is annoying. So
yeah, Aerosmith that was a big one for me. My dad that was my first concert. It was Motley Crue opening up for Aerosmith. And I had no idea who Motley Crue was. And I was I think I was in 7th grade. And everyone was like, "Oh, Motley Crue? Like that's a pretty heavy band, yada, yada, yada." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then I do remember going and seeing them. And at the time, it was heavy because they opened up with Dr. Feelgood and stuff. That dung, 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 dung. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. And they're all running around on stage, and they got freaking girls dancing on stage. I was like, what the fuck is this? This is nuts. And it's just crazy how Motley Crue has turned into this cringy, just like, they did it to themselves, though. They could have ended it so long ago and been like this legacy fucking band. But it's really, I think it's Neil, what's his name? Vince Neil.
Yeah.
The singer. Dude, hang it up, bro. Like, I'm not one to tell artists to quit, but damn.
I'm pretty sure nobody likes that dude.
He is just...
I'm pretty sure he's got quite a history.
He's got quite a history, but his voice, it's like, dude, come on. Like, and it's mind-boggling that people pay money to still go see Motley Crue at this point in their life.
Yeah, it's for the name. It's because they have a memory that was associated with the Motley Crue.
Yeah, but why tarnish
They went to that one
memory,
show
man?
that one time, and
yeah, it's nuts.
I don't know, dude.
He sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Same thing with Axl Rose. It's like, dude.
Yeah, I don't go to... I don't know, man. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point where I'm going to a show just for the name of the band.
Yeah. If I know the band is like done physically, like they just can't do their shit anymore.
Like, I don't
want to tarnish that memory of them.
I don't think I would go to a Metallica show just because of the amount of money that it would take and the experience that I would have would not match up.
Yeah.
Like it just wouldn't match.
Yeah.
I would be stuck fucking 400 rows back watching these tiny little like ants on a stage like run around and like fucking high five people in the front row.
And they're not like, I mean, they're still Metallica, but they're not Metallica anymore, you know? So it's like,
I'm pretty much just watching off of one of the jumbo screens hanging above them anyways.
Yep, exactly.
Might as well just watch it on YouTube later.
For sure. I agree with you there, dude. Like same thing with like, I remember Elton John came to town and I was like, fuck, I want to see Elton John so bad. And then nosebleeds were like $300 a piece. And I was like,
Live Nation.
Nah, bro. Yeah, I was like, not a chance. Exactly.
Thanks, Live Nation.
Exactly, dude.
It's all them, bro.
It's nuts. It's all those scalpers and shit, man. It's nuts.
Well, Live Nation allows it. They do nothing to stop it. They do nothing to even slow it down. Like they're just like, here's your tickets. Sell them after you buy them. I don't care.
It's insane.
Like, here you go.
Fucking nuts. I can't believe that shit.
It's nuts, dude.
It's hard to like enjoy art that way, dude. Especially music.
Yeah. When art becomes a monopoly, who would have thought?
I know. It's insane, dude. Like I can't even see like these.
They're like literal gatekeepers.
Literally
block the gates.
I've never seen Metallica, and I probably never will. And that's okay like it bothers me a little bit. And the same thing. I'm like, I'm also okay with it because if I wanted to see Metallica, it would have been years ago.
I wasn't even alive in their prime.
Yeah, exactly.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure. Pink Floyd is the one that bums me out the most, though. I'm like, they could because Pink Floyd isn't like they could play that way till their corpses and still sound incredible. It's just Roger Waters and David Gilmour can't do it. Like they can't work together ever. So it's like that chance, and I'll never go see Roger Waters, Pink Floyd, because it's not the same. Like if you don't have David Gilmour on that guitar, bending those strings and his beautiful voice, it's not Pink Floyd, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't care if Roger Waters wrote the entire Wall album. David Gilmour fucking played that shit.
Just call it something else, man.
Yeah, call it something else. Call it Roger Waters.
Yeah. Yeah. Call it something else, dude.
Yeah. Not a fan. Definitely. But that one bums me out. I'll sit and think about that when I'm listening to him. I'm like, I will never, ever experience this live.
Yeah.
That fucking irritates me.
If I could have been there, one of those laser shows.
Yeah, when tickets were like $50 a person for that shit.
Yeah. On 2 fucking drops of acid.
Dude, my buddy
go crazy.
My buddy did shrooms once, and I put on that Pink Floyd reunion show with all the lasers and shit. And he was just sitting on the couch, his pupils all dilated. And I was like, "You liking it, bro?" And he's like, he just looks over at me all wide-eyed. I was like, "Oh, he's liking it." Yeah, they're the best.
Mushrooms are weird, dude.
I've never tried them. I've always wanted to.
They're relatively safe. I mean,
yeah,
you don't have to worry too much. I mean, as long as your kid's not home.
I just feel like, especially exactly now, like
you won't go paranoid and go crazy.
I missed out my opportunity. I feel like with mushrooms because
you're good. Just get a babysitter, like you said. Just fucking set the time aside. Make it like a vacation. Like fucking put a whole day aside.
But it can be like a whole mind altering thing, can't it?
I mean,
perspective changer thing.
Don't eat a pound of mushrooms, dude. Like
that's the thing.
Just have like a gram to try it out. Like you'll see what I mean. It's just fine. Like,
if I'm gonna do mushrooms, I want to see shit. Like I want to trip, dude. I want to go all the way and see fucking things that aren't there.
Yeah, that's not why I eat mushrooms.
No.
I eat mushrooms because it's almost like it takes down all the barriers in your head, like all of your biases and everything that's like you're procrastinating on, or everything you're trying to like redirect your thoughts. Like you don't want to think about this, so you go do this instead. Like mushrooms breaks all that down. It's like, here's your life.
Okay.
Here's what you're doing. And it's not good or bad. It's just you see everything that you're doing now. Yeah. And it's like, holy fuck. Like I've been doing that. Like, how have I been fucking up like this for so long? Like, holy shit. It kind of like resets you. You're like, you look at everything from an unobjective standpoint.
Like a humbling kind of thing?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very humbling for sure. Every time I'm done with mushroom, like a good trip of mushrooms, if I eat like an eighth, every time the next day, I'm just like sitting there thinking like, wow, like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like I've been ignoring so much, or like,
and then you go back to ignoring shit again.
well, no, I mean, it's like motivation,
Yeah,
it opens up your perspective and you're like, okay, now I know what I need to fucking really hone in on and work on. And then, after a while, your biases come back. They creep back in, and, you kind of start ignoring little things that bother you again, and you start fucking pushing stuff off to the side.
Yeah.
After a few months, you're like, something's wrong. Like, I need to do some mushrooms again.
Yeah. I know there's this thing, it's like microdosing or something like that, where people do like every day.
I've always wanted to try that.
Yeah.
Like, try like a little, like maybe like a half gram a day or something, maybe less.
Yeah.
Like really small amount.
Yeah, that's gotta be interesting.
I heard it's like steroids for comedy.
Really?
Like you just like when I eat mushrooms, all I want to do is just joke about everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch a movie. I'll commentate the movie and just try to make it ridiculous. Like I'm just trying to make everybody laugh. I want to laugh all the time. And it's like I was watching Futurama on mushrooms, and it was like the funniest shit in the world.
Yeah.
And like me and my brother were just adding jokes back and forth. We were both on mushrooms, and there was it's like one of those rotating parties where people come in, they'll chill for an hour or two, and then like leave, and then other people come by, and like they didn't know we were on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. We were just sitting there watching Futurama, just bullshitting, and like people were just cracking up, like it was a fucking stand-up show. Like
we used to do something similar to that. My buddies, when they all lived together, it was called the Beta House, and it was like 4 of my best friends lived together. And it was basically you just go there and you fucking smoke weed and get high and blaze and watch funny shit. And we used to do that, and there'd be a couple times where someone would drop mushrooms, and I know you're a huge fan, and we would binge watch Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Man, that shit was just, especially when you're just stoned out of your mind.
Like a mushroom show.
Man. Like, I remember we watched it, and I think one of my buddies was on mushrooms, and we watched the Bird Up episode. Dude, the most fucking chaotic episode they have.
It's the worst episode, literally.
Oh my God. I love that episode.
It makes sense, though.
For sure. And you're just watching it, and after it's over, you're just like, what the fuck did I just see?
Like, did they really publish that?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy fuck,
this guy's making money off this shit. It's nuts. But it was
brave.
So funny. Yeah, brave is, like, dude, Eric Andre that dude is phenomenal. I love his
Once
shit.
he had the contract, he was just like, fuck this, dude. Let's go. Let's go crazy.
Dude, he was his random. That's my sense of humor, though. I love random shit. Like shit that doesn't make sense.
It gets kind of weird though, because I remember Darren and Noah in the last episode, they told me to watch I Think You Should Leave.
Oh, that's a great show.
Yeah, so you say too, but I tried to watch it, and it was like melting my fucking brain. I can't watch it.
In a good way or bad way?
Bad way.
Like not funny way?
Like I was just blank faced staring at the screen like what in the hell?
It's definitely like a lot, like when you come from shows like, did you watch Comedy Bang Bang at all?
No.
Comedy Bang Bang is a lot like Eric Andre. It's a talk show kind of thing. Pretty funny. I don't know where you'd find it, but when you come from shows like Eric Andre that are so extreme and random, and then you go to I Think You Should Leave, it's definitely like, I Think You Should Leave is definitely random, and I think it's funny, but there are some episodes where I'm the same way, where I'm watching them, I was like, okay, that was an alright one. But then every, like, I wouldn't say bad episode, but every average episode, there'd be another one that was like, oh man, that was funny as fuck. And I was watching it with my wife the other day, and there was just one. He was just doing something so stupid, and we were both just dying laughing. But that was like throughout that whole episode, it was that one thing. Instead of like where Eric Andre, the whole entire episode is just like, holy shit, this is hilarious.
Yeah,
I Think You Should Leave. There'd be like throughout an episode, it'd be like that one thing in the episode that was like, oh my God, that was funny.
Well, I think Eric Andre is focusing on like shocking.
Oh yeah,
he's being shockingly confusing.
Comedy for sure.
Like what's confusing, but it's like wildly confusing. Like what in the fuck is this? Like whereas like what's the guy's name? Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Like the way he does it, it's not shocking. It's more like
sketch.
It's almost like just pure confusion.
Yeah.
How confusing can I make this?
Yeah.
Like let's make this make no sense.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what the fuck is this?
There's a Tim Robinson thing that cracks me up every single time, and it's just so random because it's the opening of the show, and it's this old man that's outside of this person's house, and it's like in the middle of the night, and he's knocking on the windows and shit, and he's like, he's like, "Where's my treasure chest? I want my treasure chest. Where is it? I used to live here. Give it to me." And he's banging on the windows and looking. He's like, "Is anyone home? Please help me." And it's just so fucking random. It destroys me every time. But the Eric Andre like street stuff, dude, you cannot top that. Like the one where Eric Andre's on top of a police car and he's like destroying it, and Hannibal Buress comes up and he's dressed up as an officer.
Yeah, and he's
like, "Hey, what are you doing, man?" And he's like, "That's some cool ass shit. That's what you're doing." And he's dressed as the cop destroying the cop car with Eric Andre.
Yeah, and people are just watching like, what the fuck?
And in the edits they make on like the crowds, like when they zoom in on someone's face and like edit it, oh my god, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's like it's like shock comedy
for sure.
It's funny. Like I like the one where Officer Andre, that's what they call this sketch, when he goes out in the police uniform.
Yep.
And he handcuffs himself to a light pole, but his pants are down.
Yep.
He's like, "Can you help me? Somebody help me. Help me pull my pants up."
I like the troll one, or the Cyclops one, where he's taking the photo of the woman on the middle of the street and some guy walks past him, and then he looks at him, he takes the camera away, and he's just got one eye, and he's like, "Pay the toll." And the guy's just like, "Holy shit." And it's, dude, just the most random fucking shit ever.
Time to deliver a pizza ball.
Oh my god. The pizza ball. I'm Ranch Dubois. Just got a Sprite sponsorship or whatever. Man.
Ranch it up. Mind if I hit this? Just starts chugging ranch.
God damn, yeah. Eric Andre was a big part of our smoke sessions.
There's something wild about his creativity. I don't know.
It's really weird, but it works.
Yeah, it's so off the wall, man. I feel like Tim Robinson's going for a specific like kind of situation. Like he's sticking to the sketch, you know. There's like Eric Andre, the sketch is the wild chaos. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Tim Robinson's is more like there's a story to each sketch kind of thing. Eric Andre's was like,
it's like, how far can I take this one joke?
Exactly.
Like Bird Up. Like
Bird Up.
He's in a green suit and he's just like, pretend I'm not here.
He's sticking fingers in the lady's mouth and
he's
shit.
like fucking
he's like, "Can I get 4 in there? Can I get 4?" Oh.
It's like the camera can't see me. Just pretend I'm not here. He's like fucking with them.
Man.
It's like that is the joke. Like how far can you take it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And these people believe him too. Some of them. They're like, "Oh."
It's like so fast. They don't have a chance to fight back.
Yep. What do you think about like Impractical Jokers?
I like that show.
I like that show a lot too.
I wish I knew how much of it wasn't like real time though. It's hard to tell. I feel like some of it isn't real.
Like the people
but a
they
lot
encounter?
of it is. Yeah, like I don't know. I feel like some of the sketches, maybe in the earlier episodes, I haven't seen a lot of the newer ones.
Yeah.
But like it seemed fake. Like the reactions of some people weren't real.
Well, it's also hard because you got to think these guys have been on TV for like 10 plus years now.
Well, now they have.
Yeah, and it's like, and they always do it in New York for the most part. It's like, how does not every person in New York City know who these guys are?
Sal, at least.
Yeah, at least
everyone
Sal
knows Sal, dude.
or Q or something, you know, or Joe. All of them. Like, how do you not?
All of them.
How do you not know who they are? And so it's like it's surprising when they actually encounter people. But I mean, I guess there are people out there that like just don't fucking watch TV and shit, or don't keep up on that, and then eventually fall. But I've watched behind the scenes. I listened to a podcast called "Tell 'Em Steve Dave."
Yeah.
And, do you know what that is?
No.
So do you remember the show Comic Book Men? It was the Kevin Smith show.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like Pawn Stars.
That. It was on Spike, wasn't it? Or something?
No, it was. What was Walking Dead on?
I don't know.
It was on the same. So it used to come on like at midnight after Walking Dead. Every whatever. AMC. That's what it was.
Okay.
Those guys have a podcast, and Q is one of the hosts, and so but it's funny. Like,
does he talk about the show?
He'll talk about it sometimes, and sometimes they'll like. Because the Comic Book Men guys, they're well off, but they're not millionaires like Q, and they'll give him shit every time about something. They'll be like, "Come on, bro, you got the Joker money,
nice ass contract."
Yeah, they're like, "You got that IJ money, bro. Come on with this, and that." He's like, and then he'll get humble. He's like, "No, stop it." And, but sometimes they'll talk about behind the scenes and how difficult it is because they have so many takes where people recognize them halfway through, or they recognize them immediately, and then the joke's just dead. So they got to start over, and they'll say like one scene or one joke or challenge that they're doing would take hours just because almost every person they run into knew who they were.
Why can't they do it in another city then?
I don't know. Go to I don't know.
Just go to fucking New Jersey. There's a lot of metropolitan areas.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking go to Florida.
They do that sometimes. They'll have like special episodes where they go like Hawaii or something like that. But
they need to do an episode of Mar-a-Lago.
Where the hell's that?
Florida.
Oh,
Trump's resort.
Oh God.
It'd be a great episode, dude.
Yeah, it would. That would be a great episode.
Just fucking with a bunch of rich people on a golf course.
Yep. Dude, you know what blew my mind? This is random, but it's kind of on the subject. I was listening to Nate's podcast with you.
Yeah.
And you brought up Steve-O.
The first one? Or the video one?
The video one, I think.
Okay.
And you brought up Steve-O. Mm-hmm. And he didn't know who that was because he brought up his whole podcast thing.
That blew my mind, bro.
I texted him in the Shores chat, and I was like, Nate, you don't know who Steve-O is? And he's like, no. I was like, that is literally mind blowing.
Did you see my face on the podcast?
Like, I was listening to the audio.
Dude.
Yeah.
I was confused. He's like, I was like, yeah, Steve-O's got a podcast with a van. And he's like, I don't know who that is. Like, mind blowing. Steve-O, from like Jackass. He's like, nah.
Yeah, I sent a picture.
Like, what?
I sent a picture and everything to him in that chat, and I was just like, you don't know this man?
I let it
and
go,
even Mark
dude.
came in. Yeah, I don't know how you let it go.
I just kept talking.
I was mind blown. Mind blown. Because, the most outside of Johnny Knoxville, the most recognizable dude in that cast is Steve-O.
I figured he was gonna get shit from enough people just for saying that on the podcast that I didn't have to get into it.
Yeah. That's just Nate. That's just Nate though. Nate
the
is
fact that you texted him right away makes me happy though.
Dude, I was
you immediately gave him shit.
I could not believe it. I was like, how the fuck do you not know who Steve-O is? Like you've had to have seen him at least once or twice in your life. But that's just Nate. That's why I love him. He's so like just in his own world.
He definitely lives in Nate world.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, that's good shit. Jackass was a huge part of my life when I was a kid.
Fucking in the last episode, Darren, he didn't know Jackass was a show.
Oh, I remember that too. I was listening to that. I was like, wait, what?
Me and Noah were
thought it was just movies.
Oh yeah, those movies are good. Like, oh man, we used to love that show. And he was just kind of like blank face, like,
yeah.
And Noah's like,
that's nuts.
You've seen Jackass, right? He's like, yeah, the movies. Like,
no, it was a show.
No, it was a show.
The CKY shit, man.
Like all the shows, all the episodes.
Man, I remember that was the first time I heard CKY. They were doing some stunts, and then that, what is it, 98 Bitter Souls or whatever, or something like that. I remember hearing that in the video. I was like, damn, this shit's heavy. What the fuck is this? Yeah, Jackass is. My parents were so against that for a little bit. And I would just watch them. I just watched them behind their back.
As hell, dude.
Oh, for sure. Dicks out and everything, man.
Yeah, that was probably the worst part, honestly.
Yeah.
If they just didn't do all the dick shit,
yeah,
I probably could have been able to watch it. Like my parents wouldn't have cared so much.
I mean, I definitely watched it behind their backs and shit. But I mean,
I had to go somewhere else. I had to like go to my friend's house if we're gonna watch Jackass or something.
Same. I usually, I don't even remember where I would watch it, but it wasn't with my parents' house for sure. My
parents' friends were always cooler than mine.
My dad still doesn't fuck with that shit. Yeah, my parents are awesome. They're actually really they were really lenient for my childhood, with an exception of some stuff, obviously. Yeah. But like for the most part, like my dad, my first horror movie I saw was Halloween, and I had to have been like maybe 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah.
And he sat me down and watched that with me. He's like, "Sure you want to watch this?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And that's when my fucking love for horror began. So my dad's definitely like, he can be, he was raised really Catholic in a very strict family, youngest boy of 6 sisters.
That was like my mom.
Yeah. So, but since he was the youngest boy out of the 6 sisters or whatever, he was kind of the rebel of the family. Mm-hmm. So he has a lot of, he definitely has like a lot of, like those really, he's a gentleman, you know, he's very polite. He taught us manners and shit like that. But he likes to get loose, and he'll talk the shit and shit like that.
Yeah, that's Catholic, man.
Yeah.
That's Catholicism right there.
For sure. Yeah.
You follow the rules, but
yep,
you can talk some shit.
Yeah, for sure. He can. He's definitely you
can get wild. That's okay.
Yeah, he's a cool ass dude. He's definitely like he's
repent.
Yeah. but that was the cool part about growing up though. He wasn't Catholic like those thoughts and stuff, like as far as like the church and stuff, weren't really like instilled in us, but we knew what was going on. Like we knew the whole. We were aware of his beliefs and my mom too. She's
got the
Italian.
gist of Christianity.
Exactly, we got the gist
of
they
the Ten
never,
Commandments and all that.
Unless there was like a wedding or a funeral or something, we never went to church. So it was never forced on us. But it was definitely present in our life. But it wasn't ever forced on us. So that was really cool. Like now that I'm an adult looking back, I was appreciative of that because like I couldn't imagine like just dragging your kid to church every Sunday.
Dude, that was me and my brother.
Really?
We got dragged to church every Sunday.
Man.
So like my mom was like really Catholic. She was raised in a Catholic family and all that. It's gotten looser in recent times. It's just not as important in our life as much as it used to be. And my dad was raised Mormon, but never liked it.
He was Jack Mormon?
Yeah. So he just is like, fuck it. Like, I don't like, he has like a scientific view of the world. Yeah. But he's still like got the creationist theory. Okay. He's like, the universe is what it is, but God made the universe the way it is. Okay. So like there's got to be an intelligent design to this existence. It's like, how do you argue that? I don't know. Sure. That could be. Yeah. But so that was his like religion is here, but it's like a instrument.
So were you going like Catholic churches then?
Yes. Okay. So my mom was taking like me. Boring, bro. Well, it was only like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, if the priest had a lot to say that day. Yeah. So for sure, it was like we would go, and it was like a lot of singing, a lot of like fucking singing hymns, and fucking standing and then kneeling and then sitting and then standing again for this part and then kneeling for that part. And
well, that's how my dad was raised.
The Catholic mass is kind of weird.
It's weird. My dad was an altar boy, so he was raised that way. So I think that's probably why he didn't like force it on us, because even for him as a kid, probably he was like, this shit sucks. Even though he has those beliefs and stuff about God, and he still, he believes in God and all that, but he wasn't like, God, I love church. He's like,
it's a certain discipline, dude.
For sure.
Like it's not fun. It's not for fun.
Yeah.
Catholicism, you're not going to church for fun.
No.
You're going to like solidify your discipline. Yep. In the religion, like So it's like I don't know. It was like a practice thing. Like you do this because you're Catholic. Yeah. Like this doesn't make anything better. This is just what you fucking do. Yeah. Like
when I was Christian, like in high school, I used to go to this church called Cornerstone, and it was actually like, regardless of my beliefs now, it was a cool church because it was very musically driven. So every time you get there, in the student section or in the big whatever you want to call it, the big auditorium, they'd always open up with like 3 or 4 songs, and it'd be a full band playing guitars, drums, vocalists.
Yeah, we had a full band at our church.
Yeah, and it was cool because it was like, obviously I love music, so that was a cool aspect of it. And then they do the whole preaching thing afterwards, but it wasn't like Catholic church, it was like
Protestant or something.
I mean, it wasn't. Regardless of my beliefs now, looking back, there are some. Within Christianity and stuff, there are some good things I can pull out of it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of good things.
A lot of good things.
I mean, there's a lot of good things in Christianity.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, but it's like the practice of doing the scripted prayers and the scripted ceremony of going to mass, and everybody dress up and meet up, and then the priest talks about this one thing, and then you sing a bunch of songs and make the same exact prayers, and you do it every fucking week.
For sure.
It's like
I loved it at one point in my life where I was pumped for Sunday. Like I was like, let's fucking go. I'm going to church today. But that kind of changed over time.
I was just pumped for the donuts.
Dude, I never got donuts.
I just wanted the donuts.
You know what's cool, dude? My church that I went to, my when I was in the student section or in the student chapter, whatever it was called, my pastor, he was kind of he was all tattooed and stuff, loved metal and stuff, and he knew that I was a metal fan, and he was like, Connor, I'm working on something. We're gonna get someone over here as a guest speaker. And he literally got Brian Head Welch from the guitarist for Korn, and he came to our church and he spoke for us. I got to meet him and everything, dude. It was nuts.
He lives in Arizona or something?
No, I think he lives in California still, but he had that whole thing. There was a big time in Korn's career where Brian left Korn because he was a severe drug addict. I read his book. It was really actually fantastic. Found Jesus and stuff. And he's still that way. He's still very religious, but I guess he was doing like, if a church was asking him to come and speak, if he could do it, he'd go. And we were one of those churches, and he came to the student center and spoke to us and stuff. We got to meet him. And that's really awesome. It wasn't even like wasn't even like a religion thing for me for that moment. I was like, dude, I get to fucking meet Brian from Korn. That's fucking sick. And so I was so pumped, dude. I was so pumped. And when it actually happened, I didn't think it was going to happen. But then my pastor came up to me. He was just like, dude, we fucking got him. Or he didn't say it like that, obviously. But
fucking got him, bro.
Fucking got him.
Fucking got
him,
dude.
Yeah, man.
Hook, line, sinker.
But yeah, that was really cool. It was a surreal moment. He had the dreads and everything, and just just sitting up there speaking the word and stuff. And
never cut his hair.
No, never cut his hair. It was really cool. But I got to like have like a one-on-one with him after the thing and like talk to him for like a couple minutes. Dude, it was really cool. That was the coolest thing coming out of my church experience for that. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know what the coolest thing coming out of my church experience was. I guess maybe just having the knowledge of the Bible, I guess.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I know
like,
quite a lot about Catholicism.
Yeah, the insight was probably the best thing that I got out of that.
Practicing Catholicism.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine going to Catholic church, man. Having to kneel down on the pews.
All the way until I was 13, man.
Wow.
So it's like, I'm a confirmed Catholic. I went through confirmation, they call it. So you like go and do your first confession and, I don't know. You tell the priest the wrong shit you did.
Yeah.
It's some outdated tradition, man. I don't know.
Yeah. We never did that.
It seems kind of weird to me, but I get like how it might have been useful before therapists. Mm-hmm. But like you can like, I don't know, figure out some problems without.
For sure. Telling a random dude about your problems and then telling him just
it's not even a random dude though. That's the thing. He's the leader of your community.
Yeah.
Like it's not a random dude.
Yeah.
Like you see this motherfucker every week.
Yeah.
He leads the church every week.
Yep, for sure.
This is the symbol of authority in this community, and you have to tell him what you did wrong every week. Or not every week, but like when you get to choose when you go to confession.
Yep.
So it's like, but to be a confirmed Catholic, you have to go to confession that first time when you're like 13.
That's wild to me though, but like who's confirming this? Because Catholicism is a worldwide thing. Just that one church?
There's an organization behind all the churches. Like there is a hierarchy.
Like the Vatican
Catholic,
is like the
the Vatican is the king of the Catholic Church. Like
I went to the Vatican.
That is
once.
The capital of Catholicism.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have the records. They probably have my name on a piece of paper somewhere in the Vatican, dude.
That's crazy.
My name is probably somewhere in there saying I'm a confirmed Catholic.
Wow. That's nuts. I went to the Vatican once and it was mind-blowing. Like, and that was during a time when I was religious, so it was really like it was a whole different experience. And but dude, the intricacy of that place is fucking insane. Like that's a palace. It's its own city, dude. It's insane.
I really want to see it.
It's beautiful.
I love architecture.
You'll love it, dude.
Like I like to see buildings and then just it blows my mind like how did they make this? Like how did they put this together?
The one thing that I was thinking about when I was going through the Vatican tour, I was looking at all the insane and you'd be inside rooms where the ceiling was fucking, I don't know. It felt like 10 stories high.
Oh yeah.
And it was
40, 50 feet up.
Literally. And I would think, I'd be like, I wonder like where are all these where are the things that they're not showing us? Like all the deep underground shit, like with all the fucking records of everything, or like I'm like
the vaults.
I'm like, dude, like there's got to be some crazy
How much
rooms.
Gold
in this place.
Do they have down there?
Yeah, there's got to be some crazy relics from.
They probably have like fucking St. John's robe.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, they got to have some
crazy
nutty
historical.
Stuff. Yeah,
that they're allowed to just keep secret from the world.
Oh, for sure.
They're allowed to just
for sure.
No, we won't tell you.
For sure. Yeah, it's mind blowing, but it is beautiful. I wonder
how many UFO sighting or like UFO encounters they have down there. Like
I was thinking the same thing.
You know,
like what are they like the weird shit? Like the weird shit they don't want people to know that they're hiding inside these vaults and shit.
They recovered a UFO. They have a UFO down there from the Roman days. They like dragged one back. saved it the whole time.
That'd be crazy because there's a lot of like Roman paintings and stuff that depict like alien encounters and shit like that.
The Vatican's been around for a while, dude.
Yeah, dude, they probably seen some wild shit. Like, it's nuts. I wouldn't put it past them to have some crazy shit. I wouldn't put it past them to have like a skeleton of an alien down there or something like that, just kind of chilling.
Just have a pile of them.
Man, could you imagine?
It's just a pile of
And then
bones.
you think of the government itself and the shit that they're hiding as far as alien life goes. Like, that's mind-blowing to me too. Because I know, like, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, no one knows anything when it comes to that shit except for the government. But
somebody knows.
Somebody knows. Somebody's got
knows.
Something. I mean, I'd be willing to put my, my life savings, which is probably like a couple bucks, on the fact that these somewhere in the chambers of the government they have UFOs and alien life, like whether it's dead or not. That's fucking nuts to me.
They're probably all dead.
They're probably all dead. They're probably like specimens,
We don't know how to keep them alive.
Yep. That shit's mind blowing.
My theory is like the reason that these black programs have like stayed quiet and secret and everything is because like they are the aliens.
Ooh.
They are the ones keeping it secret. Like they're already among us, disguised as humans, making decisions. Ooh. And I think that's why they have to keep it a secret. If they let it out that they've already infiltrated our society and have been fucking with our like elections and organizations and civilizations since 5000 BC, or whatever. Like if they've been here, like they can't reveal themselves and say like, hey, by the way, we've been shaping your entire society.
That's true.
The nuclear bomb was a mistake.
See, yeah, that's definitely something. That's definitely something we'll never know. Never know.
If it's true, we'll never know.
We'll probably know the fact that like there are alien life forms, but they'll never reveal it to us that they are the alien life forms kind of thing. They know we're dumb enough to be like, well, some of us are dumb enough to be like, holy shit, the government told us there's aliens, and they showed us a picture of a Martian or something like that. But most people wouldn't pick up the fact that the government probably is aliens. Like, it's weird. That's so trippy, bro.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, what like made me think about that is there's this guy. He was from Arizona, from Heber.
I think
he was like on a logging trip in Heber or something. His name is Travis something.
Travis Walton?
Yeah, Travis Walton.
That's Fire from the Sky guy.
Yeah. That story.
Yeah.
So part of that story, it really tripped me out. He said part of it was when he woke up on that medical table or whatever in wherever the fuck he was. He doesn't even know.
Humanoid guy.
Yeah, there's a humanoid, somebody that looked human.
This is from the Joe Rogan podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
He told this story, and like, if that story was true, then they can replicate our shape.
Yeah.
They can look like us.
Either that, or they're actually what they are. Like if he saw that human guy, and I remember him describing him like he looked like a regular guy, but there was something slightly off about him and the way and stuff like that. Either they're shape shifting whatevers, or there are species like us from a different planet or from a different galaxy or whatever that have come here and evolved into what humans are now. One of the things that when I saw, did you ever see Prometheus? It's one of the alien movies.
I mean, I know the premise of it.
There's an opening scene where the opening scene of Prometheus, this humanoid alien thing, I think they're called the Engineers. Mm-hmm. They're like these giant fucking 8-9 foot tall humanoid alien looking things. They're like pale white, but they have different facial features, but they're human enough to where you're like, okay, that's a humanoid kind of life form. He's on Earth, and I think he's the last of his species or something like that, and he dies, and when he dies, he falls into this creek, and his body kind of like dissolves, and all the cells and molecular fucking bits of his body are floating through the water, and then it shows these cells and stuff slowly forming into different life forms, like little like plankton, slowly into fish that evolve on water, and then it turns into life, and then it's like,
it's like they seeded the earth.
Yeah, like they seeded the earth kind of thing. And that put something in my head. I was like, that is something that I could get behind as far as like how we fucking got here, because that also is another thing that blows my mind. Like, who the fuck are we? Why are we here? That's just like, that hurts my brain so much.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
And we'll never know.
There's a lot of mysteries for sure.
We'll never know. That bugs me. That bugs the shit. I gotta stop talking about this because it gets me like so like pent up. I'm like, God damn it, give me the fucking answers.
Wider, start cracking out. Look like Charlie Day.
We are them. Yeah. We are them.
Just feel like that Always Sunny episode. Yeah. All the papers behind me, like
yeah. That shit trips me out, bro.
I so many theories. It's so nuts. It's just so like so weird.
It's insane.
But I fully believe that theory though, that the aliens are in charge of these black programs.
Yeah.
They are like their own interests as far as like keeping it secret. Yeah. You know, it's for them themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
you think we're not like test subjects or something?
It's hard to say, man. The thing is, like, I'm not saying they're shapeshifters and that they can just transform into human, but they might be like, you know, cloning human bodies and just transferring a consciousness and using it as like a drone. Like a remote control biological body. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like an avatar. Something like that.
What do you think about that video, the chick on the plane? Where she's like, that motherfucker is not real. Have you seen that?
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. There's not enough info.
Nuts. Well, apparently she saw him like he wasn't who he was. But like she saw him and she saw something in his facial features. She hasn't come out. She said that she's going to come out and talk about it eventually when the time is right and she's allowed to or whatever. She
doesn't exist anymore.
But like, yeah, pretty much, pretty much. Dude. Well, I saw this recent thing on Facebook. It was like we met that dude's not real lady at the airport, and they were trying to get answers out of her, and she's like, there will come a time where I'll be able to talk about it, but right now we're not allowed to. Supposedly people think that they saw this dude or she saw this dude on the plane, like not shapeshift entirely, but something was fucked up with his image, like he was wearing a hoodie and shit, and she might have seen reptile eyes or some kind of like, you know, him forming into a human kind of type shit, and that's what made her freak out. Where she's like, I gotta get the fuck off this plane because that dude's not real. Like, so that shit trips me out. Unless she was just having like some episode or something. Weird, man. But man, it is just like it's hard for me to count out a lot of stuff like that because there's so many. When it comes to the universe and the laws of the universe and shit and how fucking huge it is, it's like, how do you count out anything? Like,
you can't.
Like,
can't at all.
I mean, you can count out like obvious shit. Like humans we can't fly. We'll never be able to fly ourselves.
There's never going to be a cheeseburger solar system.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Probably it's not going to happen.
But like, when it comes to things outside of our galaxy, dude, like you can't count it out, dude.
It's too big.
We
don't know how big it is yet. We can just
we have
theories,
big.
but we just don't know, dude. It's still expanding.
That's just
somehow
trippy to me, dude. So trippy.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's fucking gnarly. It really is.
And everything's expanding away from each other at the exact same rate in every direction. So everything's getting further apart at the same rate from everything else. Like, I don't know how to even conceptualize that visually.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, how do you even like? I can't even think of like a table of marbles doing that.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just, it's so irritating. It's so fucking irritating,
motherfucker.
I know, dude. It's like, why? Yeah.
I still think about the Egyptians all the time.
Egyptians are nuts.
I get stuck
I think
on those
they
videos.
definitely were working with aliens and shit like that.
They have to be. If they weren't working with aliens, something from off this planet gave them technology.
For sure.
Something.
Well, the shit that trips me out is the Anunnaki people too. You ever read up on them?
Sounds familiar.
They're like a species of humans that were like giants, and they had this planet, and their planet, I could be totally like wrong, but I think I'm pretty on. Basically they left their planet X or something. I think it was called like Planet X, or at least that's what we gave the name. And their whole thing.
X.
Yeah, exactly. They had this whole thing where to protect themselves from their sun or something like that, they used to use gold panels or something to cover their cities that would reflect the sun and shit like that. And there's this theory that there's a lot of like ancient like carvings and stuff like that, like little statues of these crazy giant people holding like these little monkey people in their hands.
Full-size lion. That carving from Sumer.
I've never seen that one.
There's a guy standing next to people, and they're like giving him tithings or something, and he's like dressed like a king, like a Sumerian king.
Yeah,
and he's holding a lion in his arm, like a cat.
Wow. Yeah, so it's all like that because there's like a lot of statues of these Anunnaki giants, and they have little monkeys in their hands, and supposedly they sent some of these giant people out to Earth, and when they came down, they created basically humans with their DNA and shit like that, but didn't give them the godlike qualities that they had and turned them kind of like into a slave species to mine gold and shit like that for their planet back home. And that's a lot of people think that's why humans have such a fascination with gold and shiny shit, because we're just evolved creatures of, you know, these gold mining monkeys.
That's a really specific theory,
dude.
Man.
It's crazy, but there's a lot of art and like stone etchings and stuff from like the Sumerian age, like thousands of years ago, where there's no technology at all to fucking figure out the solar system, but there's art engraved in these stone slabs of these giant Anunnaki people, and then they have the solar system etched above them, and it's got, you know, the sun, and it's got Earth, and it's got all these fucking planets revolving around the sun accurately.
Yeah,
and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
The astronomical knowledge.
Yeah,
that they had back then
they shouldn't have had.
Makes no sense.
No sense at all.
They didn't have telescopes.
No, they had some, but it's just, I have no idea. No,
there's things that they shouldn't be able to see,
and they did.
I remember reading up on this little glyph that they found somewhere in India where it depicted a binary star system in like the location of this one star, and it's like, you shouldn't be able to tell that that's a cluster or a binary system, like with the technology they had. Yeah. You know, like how the fuck did they know that was two stars and not just one? Like it looks like one when you look at it. Like they had knowledge from something, like somehow.
Something, dude. Dude. You should definitely look up Anunnaki, and you'll go down a fucking rabbit hole, and it is just mind blowing. It's really trippy. Like, to think that there was at one point thousands of years ago things that looked like us, but that were like 2 stories tall or bigger, kind of ruling everything and creating life. It's really fucking trippy. It's so weird. And it's hard to discount too, because there's so many ancient relics that are dedicated to that specific tribe and shit. It's really weird, bro. It just, like I said, it bugs the fuck out of me that I'll never understand and I'll never know.
So you think they've ever actually found giant remains? You think that's real, or is it a hoax? Because I know you've seen the stories. You've probably seen the pictures and all that.
I bet you. I bet you. See, when you go like down to that,
is that them? Is that the Anunnaki people?
Maybe.
Like they tried to make discrete graves so they wouldn't be found or something like that.
Maybe, but it's just so hard because like when I think about stuff like giants and dragons and shit, I understand that humans have an imagination, and they could have looked at some kind of fucking lizard back in the day and been like, what if that thing was huge and it could fly and it had wings and spit fire? Let's create a story about that. Or there's a chance that those fuckers actually existed and they became myths after years of them just not being on Earth type shit. Because dinosaurs, when you think of dinosaurs, bro, if we didn't know what dinosaurs were and somehow a fucking pterodactyl was revived into the planet, people would be like, what the fuck? That's a dragon or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's really weird. Like, once you get into that area too, that's another thing that boggles my mind also. It's like, at one point, dinosaurs fucking existed and ruled this planet. Like,
I guess the theory is that the Dragon bones would be too light. They would decompose before they could fossilize.
True. That makes sense because they got to fly. They probably have like hollow bones or something like that.
Yeah, they're really brittle and hollow, like you said.
Yeah.
If they're gonna be able to fly and flap the
carry all that weight,
skin, and shit with their wings.
I don't know, but with like giants, I wouldn't discount giants being real at one point, because there's fucking people on this planet now that are like, I mean, it's very rare, but you get people that are like 9 feet tall, and that's huge. It's just like,
yeah.
I mean, there's only a handful, but I mean, but then you look at NBA players, they're like 7 foot plus. It's like, holy shit, that's huge. At one point, I don't discount that there could have been
just
giants.
Mutations.
Yeah, true. Mutations.
Like slight genetic variations, you know?
But as far as like a species of giants, you know?
Yeah, like there's stories in like North American native tribes of like red-haired giants and how they were literally in like a massive war with these giants. Like it's a legend from like thousands of years ago, you know? And like they had to wipe out all of the giants or else they're going to get killed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, well, where did they go? Like, you wiped them out. Like,
but I guess if it's that long ago, their bones would be dust at this point.
Yeah,
you know, and there's no way of really.
Yeah, people don't understand how fossils need a very, very specific set of circumstances in order to form.
Yeah,
like they're not actually bones.
Yeah,
they're rocks.
There's if giants were so that to bring you back to that question of like the dudes in the 20s finding the giant skeletons.
Yeah,
I'd say no. Because if they were that long ago, there's no way they'd find full intact fucking skeletons like that.
Yeah.
It's like, because even if it was hundreds of years ago, there'd be some record of fucking giant people like that roaming the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about decomposition of bones.
Yeah.
Like what circumstances would preserve bones.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, maybe if it got covered in the right
moisture
type of mud,
and shit. Yeah.
Or something, if it was like in a mudslide,
yeah,
maybe a corpse would be preserved.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Like I don't know enough of the science to say, but like I wouldn't discount that shit got buried.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody came out and said like, oh, we found these giant bones, and like the government's like, you found what the fuck now? Yeah. Like we're taking that.
For sure.
Like we're confiscating this site. You know, nobody's coming back here ever again.
What do you think? So there's this podcast I listen to. I'm curious, what's your take on like Sasquatches and Bigfoot?
I don't believe that.
You don't?
Nah.
So I listened to this. I can't remember what it's called because I don't listen to it too often. I only listen to like the episodes. If I read the title, I'm like, okay, that sounds cool.
It's too recent. There would definitely be evidence.
There's this guy, this guy, he runs a podcast and the whole thing is based off like cryptids and stuff like that.
Okay.
And he'll get people that call in and tell him, hey, I have this story or this encounter I want to tell you about. And he'll kind of get their backstory before he brings them onto the podcast so he doesn't just look like a dumbass bringing these people on, you know, telling stupid ass stories.
Like me?
Yeah, and like me too. So he has this one guy, and the episode is called I Killed Bigfoot. I'll send it to you after this. It's really interesting.
Like Strange Wilderness?
Oh my God, I haven't seen that movie in so long, bro.
They killed Bigfoot.
Yeah. But this guy, he's this old redneck guy, straight out of fucking like, I can't even remember where it is, but in the middle of the country where there's just dense woods. And he lives in the middle of the country and has like a little cabin. And
West Virginia.
Yes, actually, I think it was exactly like West Virginia.
How did I know?
Because that's where everything happens, bro.
That's where all the big, like most intense rednecks are, dude.
Exactly. I think it was like West Virginia. And he's telling this guy, basically, he's a turkey hunter. And he goes out when it's in season, he's hunting these turkeys. And I guess there's like this turkey that's huge that he goes out, or people have been wanting, and he's a big ass boy and they want to hunt him and be the first to get him or whatever. And he said that he had this encounter with a Bigfoot and it was a red one. And he said that when he was up in his
red one,
like a ginger, like a ginger Bigfoot. And he said he's perched up in his little tree thing, and he hears like big ass rumblings and trees shaking and shit. He's like, what the fuck is that? And he says he sees this Bigfoot or the Sasquatch come out from behind these trees. And he said that one of his hands was so big he could like almost wrap it around the trunk of this tree, which is, I mean, I'm assuming is probably like, this thick. And he said that he would shake it back and forth with ease, like almost if he could break it in half if he wanted to. And he was making these guttural noises at him and shit and going crazy. And the redneck guy was like, I was just in fucking shock. I didn't know what to do. And he's like, and he got close enough. He was about like 12 yards away from me. And he was like, that's close enough for me. And he lifted up his shotgun and he said he shot him right in the face and it killed him. And he said he went up to study the body. He couldn't get a good look at his face, obviously, because he said he blew it off, basically. He said, but this dude was huge. He's like, this Sasquatch was at least 8-9 feet tall, fucking limbs down to his knees and shit like that, covered in hair. He's like, it smelled, and the interviewer was like, what did it smell like? Do you remember? He's like, it smelled like a mixture of a skunk and a wet dog. And the interviewer was like, yeah, that's what a lot of people say, that when they encounter a Bigfoot or whatever, that's what it smells like. And so he's going along the story. He's like, so I sat there and I left the body and I went back home, called my buddies to come take a look at this thing. And so his buddies come out to the cabin and he goes back to the spot that the Bigfoot was at, but it wasn't there. But he saw like drag markings through the forest of where in like blood trails. And so they followed those, and he said about like 100 yards later, they rolled up to the body and it was on the edge of this cliff by the forest. And he was like, my assumption is that one of the other Bigfoots or something found him, tried to drag him off to wherever. And then he said that his friends left, and I think one of his friends like tattled on him and got word. And he said the next thing he knew, like a day later, these black vehicles come rolling up to his cabin, and there's a game warden, and then a couple like FBI, people or whatever, and they knock on his door and they're like, we got news that, you killed a fucking Bigfoot. And they're giving him all this shit, and they're making him reenact exactly what he did, getting up in the tree, how far was this thing away from you and all that. And the game warden was like being really pissy with him and being a fucking asshole. And the guy was like, the warden basically told him, he's like, we understand, like this time it was a self-defense thing, but if this ever happens again, you'll be incarcerated, just like if you were illegally hunting something. And he's like, what the fuck? He's like, these things aren't even supposed to be real anyways. And he's like, and then I guess the game warden was like, no, dumbass, they're real and they're endangered, and we don't tell people about these things because we don't want rednecks like you going out and hunting them. And then when he said that, I was just like, oh, that makes kind of perfect sense. Like, it's really trippy. I wouldn't. He was talking about how he's seen a couple since then. There's black ones and red ones. He said the black ones are more peaceful. He's like, you usually don't. The only time you see a black one is you see its back because it sees you first and tries to get the fuck out of there. And it's like the red ones are the aggressive ones they'll come up to you and try to kill you and shit like that.
Sounds like ants.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
like fire ants. But that shit blew my mind. I'll send you that podcast because it's pretty, and you never know. This guy could be just some fucking crazy redneck dude that wanted to tell a story. But the way he told it and recollected it from years ago, it was pretty convincing.
What gets me about that though is like, just take a fucking picture.
True.
Like everyone has cameras. Every hunter brings a camera with them.
Yeah, I guess.
Like at this point, like if somebody would have taken a picture of one. If this guy's seen them multiple times, somebody else has seen them multiple times. He's not the only motherfucker who's seen one if they exist.
Have you ever seen the breakdown footage of like that original Sasquatch video where the Bigfoot is like walking through the woods and it turns?
I thought that already got debunked.
Oh really? I've seen a lot where they break it down and they're looking at like if it was a costume, you'd have this and that, but the muscle like symmetry of like when he's walking and stuff. Like the legs,
the joints don't match up or something.
Well, like the joints, like when he's walking, you can see the shake of the legs or whatever, like from the muscle for every step it takes, and you can see the muscular shit shifting.
It's not good enough quality to do that. Don't fuck.
It's
with
crazy.
Me,
there's people. There's
those videos are such shitty quality
for sure. But there's a lot of people that like will like brighten them up and edit them and shit. It's weird. I don't know. I mean,
I thought somebody already came out and said like, yeah, that was me in a costume.
I don't know.
Like some old dude.
I've never seen that far. I've never seen that video, but
I don't know. I think I saw it like on some documentary a while ago, but it was like some guy telling this story about how he was like fucking going out there to film something, and he was like in his costume.
Yeah.
And like somebody got footage of it.
Yeah, it's.
But I don't know. Maybe that guy's a fucking agent. Who knows?
Maybe.
I just think it like, how is something that's bipedal like so strikingly like wild, like a bipedal ape?
Yeah.
So tall, like walking through the forest, like so noticeable. They're not like camouflaged. You know, where are they?
Well,
they're so fucking elusive.
Well, that's the thing. But think about how much dense forest we have in this country.
Okay,
like,
but
across
like,
the whole country, they could be. It's like there's not a lot of people exploring all those areas. Like getting lost in the forest in this country is no different than getting stranded in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, I don't think there's any dense forest that humans haven't been through in this fucking country.
Really?
Yes. I think that we've explored all the dense forests here.
I don't know. I mean,
it's land, dude.
Sure.
Humans evolved to walk.
Every cave system. Yeah, true. But that's the thing. Like
anywhere you can walk to, like these things walk on two legs.
True, but they also probably have some, if they're surviving this long without going noticed most of the time, they probably have some kind of technique or some hideaway, or they know how to fucking, I mean, if they
That's
live
what I mean,
out
though.
there.
That's the part where I don't believe it. That's the part where it's like unbelievable. Like, okay, so they have no technology, no like discernible language that we know of. Mm-hmm. Like, we like barely see, like nobody sees them, but we have accounts of people seeing them, but they didn't take a picture. But it's like, you know where you saw it. You could probably find them. Like, what kind of hunter are you? You know,
I guess. Yeah.
Like it seems too like crazy that they've been able to elude people for this long. Like,
true, but there also could be. I mean, when the guy said they're an endangered species, I was like, okay, that makes sense. There's not just thousands of these things roaming the forest. There's probably a handful, and that's probably what makes them even that more elusive. Is that there's probably not much of them left. And then the redneck guy was like, he's like, these aren't humans that, you know, didn't evolve or anything. These are just giant apes. North American apes is all they are. He's like, there's nothing special about them. They don't have telekinetic powers or anything. And he's like, they're just big fucking North American apes that kind of slowly started dying out of this country. And I was just like, I can kind of get behind that. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to, without a gun or anything, obviously, is going to get that close to a fucking Sasquatch or risk taking some photos and get their fucking limbs ripped off or something. You know, it's, I don't know. I think there might be a couple out there that we don't know about.
Maybe, but I think it's super unlikely. Yeah. I don't know. I think there's more evidence for aliens than Sasquatch. What? Like,
True.
No way.
True.
Like, we have more videos of UFOs than we have. What? Still one video of Sasquatch? Still one to this day?
Yeah.
Like, nobody's been able to get one on a hunting cam.
Well, that's different. You can really tell when the Sasquatch video is fake. That's for sure. Like, versus a UFO video, the editing could be so well and shit. And
I think they're all fake. That's just me.
All the Sasquatch ones?
Yeah, dude, they're all fake. I've been talking about that.
True.
I don't believe it, dude. I just don't believe it.
I mean, there's places that make money off the existence of Sasquatch, so, you know, they keep that shit alive. Same thing for aliens, but aliens are, when you're talking about things that live outside of our galaxy, it's easier to fucking mathematically be like, that's a higher possibility.
It absolutely is. Yeah. There's way more space out there than in the forest of West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, I don't know, like, I think that famous Sasquatch sighting was in the Redwoods, Northern California.
Probably. Yeah.
So I think it's like the northwest side of the country, like Montana and shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's way bigger. There's a lot more forest in Montana, so maybe there's some unexplored shit there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, even like just across the country, the entirety of the country, there's no way we've explored every bit of those forests.
I think
without dying in there.
I think there's been people in all of that forest. Like, somebody's laid eyes on every piece of all the forests here. That doesn't mean they're constantly being explored, and there's people just constantly touring to these fucking remote areas. Like there's probably forests that haven't been entered in like 100 years.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that, or like a cave that nobody's been inside for 200 years. Like who knows? But like people have definitely been all over this land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as like the hunting goes now, like the technology is there to get images. So it's like, why aren't there any? If people are literally setting up cameras to find things that walk past, like I feel like we would have caught something bipedal if it was out there. I mean, if they're just haphazardly like walking around like looking for food, we would have found one, dude. Like unless they have unless they have like this really complex strategy of not being seen on purpose, like we have to avoid all the humans at all costs.
Well, I mean, if you count them as like creatures or animals, like any other animal, I mean, most animals have that instinct to avoid humans when they see them and fucking get out of there before the humans see them, kind of shit. You know?
I don't think. Yeah, maybe.
Like deers, like I'm sure you can walk through the forest and there's deer surrounding you that see you before you see it, and it fucking dips.
That's because we hunt deer. They know us.
Yeah, I guess. But I think there's also a fear within animals that are like, even if they don't know that we hunt them, they're like, what the fuck is that creature walking on both of its legs in my area?
Oh, yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
It's definitely confusing.
Yeah, you know. So it could be. I mean, but then when you look at Sasquatches, we're like basically the same thing, just smaller and less hairy. You know.
Yeah.
So it could be different mindset for them. Is the ocean as equally mind blowing to you as like the universe or outer space?
The ocean is weird, but I mean it's significantly smaller.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot we don't know about it, sure, but
I think
I think the most mind-blowing thing about the ocean, honestly, it just circles back to the aliens thing, is that there's been eyewitness accounts of craft going in and out of the water.
Ooh, yeah, that's
weird. That's where I think the ocean is like fucking crazy. Like they're using it as camouflage.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's the only reason to put anything in the ocean like that is to camouflage it so that we can't see it.
True. The thing that trips me out too is like the whole you've seen things where like UFOs they have this underbelly on them where it can like almost make it look like they're part of the sky. So like when you're looking up in the sky, there could be a UFO there just sitting above. Yeah,
just bend the light around them, dude.
Yeah,
it's like the invisibility cloak in Harry Potter.
Exactly, and you're just like, have you seen Nope? The Jordan Peele movie?
No, I haven't.
I think it's worth watching. It's not his best. Have you seen the Jordan Peele movies, like Us and Get Out and stuff?
I think I've seen one of them. I don't know. I know the guy though. Like
from
Key and Peele. Like I know his style.
He's a fantastic director. I think you would like, especially
he's racist.
He's racist. Is
he? No, I read one quote where he said like I will never have a white lead in my movies. He said something like that. I'm like,
I can understand that because think about how many horror movies that dude must have watched growing up where the black dude wasn't the lead.
He's just limiting himself based on race on purpose.
Yeah, I guess, but
it's like that's anti-creative if you ask me.
There's something about though like what he's done with like black horror movies.
Yeah,
he's gotten these actors that are fucking incredible, and they can really like just they can perform to an unsettling degree where like Get Out is really good. That one deals with race entirely.
Surprise.
Yeah. Well, it's like the underlying message is, it's a race issue. But Us is where it took like a whole nother turn. I don't think there's really like actually there probably is an underlying meaning to Us, but it's also, there's such a crazy plot twist at the end of the movie where you're just like, what? And it's one of those things too, where it doesn't seem too unrealistic for something like that to happen. But Nope is probably I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's not the best of the 3 or 4 that he has out. But it is a really good, like, alien movie. Really fucking trippy. I think you should watch that one just because it took a turn that I didn't really like too much. Like the first half of the movie was really strong, and then the second half of the movie I was like, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. But either way, it's a different take on aliens, and like what they might be like. Because obviously, when you think of the grand scheme of the universe, there's probably not just one set alien species. You know, there's probably multiple factions of like.
Yeah, dude. I saw this crazy interview. This guy must have been schizophrenic. He was like saying like, yeah, we fought like over 20 different species of aliens, and I was like part of this task force to be the first boots on the ground and be the invasion force. And man, the spiders, they're the worst, dude. They are.
Where was he fighting these battles?
Huh?
Where was he fighting these battles?
In other dimensions, on other planets. And
Jesus.
like, yeah, like this guy nuts, dude. Like, it's obviously one of those ones where he's like, I don't know where he came up with this shit.
Was he old?
But he's like I don't know, like an older guy. Maybe in his like 40s. He looked like he just retired out of the military or something.
Yeah.
And he's just talking about how the spider beings are like the most badass ones, dude. They're so hard. They're so intelligent. Their strategies are always the best. Like, and fucking you shoot off one of their limbs, almost instantaneous regrowth. It's like, what?
Yeah, that guy was probably schizophrenic.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about, man?
I like watching those videos of like the old dudes that are like in their 90s that are on their deathbeds that confess everything, like that they've seen that if like they worked for the government or were in the military or something.
But by that point,
they're like, fuck it. I'm going to die either way. If they come after me or tomorrow, you know, I'm going to die tomorrow or
waiting
something.
for Bob Lazar to crack, dude.
Dude, Bob Lazar.
I'm waiting for him to crack.
Crazy.
I'm waiting for something to happen to where he feels safer.
Yeah. He probably won't, though.
He'll never feel safe, dude.
No, never.
So those aliens are after him, dude.
Until he's like decrepit and like can't even walk type shit. He'll probably be like, all right, here's the full scoop. Like, that shit is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, his story is nuts.
I watched the documentary and then I watched the Joe Rogan interview and I was just like, this dude's not lying. Like, this is real shit. Especially
it's
when
too much to lie about. Like, it's too much.
It's like, how do you make that story up? Like, and especially the one where he was talking about that little finger detector that they had when he had to walk into the room and what it looked like. He's like, I remember exactly what it looked like. It was
like pins that fit in between your fingers.
Exactly.
And measure your bones. I've seen one
and
of those.
And then the guy, oh, you've seen him like in the military?
I've seen one of those. Well, it's a nowadays, like back in the 80s, maybe that was like crazy technology. Nowadays, that's just a run of the mill, like security like device.
Yeah, but like he didn't have any record, or no one had records of that shit. And then the fucking dude that did the documentary, or someone, I can't remember, that Joe guy or whatever, found a photo of him, and he was like, "That's exactly what it was." It's just like
George Knapp.
Yeah, George Knapp.
Yeah.
But everything he says is just like, it's mind-boggling.
Dude, if he could make that shit up, he would be a #1 best-selling sci-fi author.
For sure.
He'd be like Frank Herbert, dude.
But then you take into account this guy is like, he doesn't want to be bothered. He doesn't want to do this shit anymore where he talks about this shit because he knows that it's going to literally affect his life. And
he's already
he gets rated every year.
He said it's affected other people's lives that he's known.
Yeah, like his family members and shit and
or
friends.
Like just coworkers, like past coworkers.
That's insane, dude.
You know, all of a sudden they lost their career and he's like, oh, fuck, what did I say wrong?
He became the most interesting and hated man on the world probably at the same time.
Yeah.
That's insane. And I could understand why he doesn't want to come out and fucking talk about this shit all the time, because it's just going to keep opening up a can of worms. And the government's going to rate him more than they already do for that element 19 or whatever it's called, 119 or something.
115?
115, yeah.
Yeah, we can only create it in a really specific environment, and it doesn't last very long. We can't make a stable version of it still.
That's just so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I listened to that podcast multiple times, and I've watched the documentary multiple times. Just like, this is the most riveting evidence of like alien life I've ever seen in my life.
So these, you know how it's all compartmentalized and everything?
Yeah.
What are the leaders, the people who created the departments and everything? They're the aliens. That's what I'm saying. They made the program where they have all the humans like dissect their technology and see what we can come up with.
But then the question is why, though?
I don't know. But the way they're keeping it a secret doesn't make sense either.
Yeah.
Like, why would, if they really wanted to figure out the technology, why wouldn't they do it like in a way that would actually fucking figure it out? Because right now they're just doing it in a way that looks like a fucking social experiment.
Yeah.
More than actually trying to get to the bottom of what the technology is. It seems more like, they're trying to like see what we'll do with it, rather than like
we're guinea pigs.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I think that's what it is. I think we're just a big
see how fucking far we can take this species intellectually, kind of thing.
They probably just didn't need gold anymore.
Probably. Yeah.
They evolved past the need for all that gold, so they're just like, let's just fuck with them a little bit.
That's fucking crazy.
let's see what these monkeys can do.
The hangars in the mountain is what blows my mind too, where the fucking mountain turns into like these airport hangars, and there's flying saucers and shit like that in area. What is it? Area or S1 or S something?
S4 or something like that.
I've gone on Google Maps so many times and looked at S4 and like trying to look at like areas that might be
Google Maps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they haven't just pasted an image over top of it, dude.
Literally, yeah.
They just like copy a mountain from somewhere else and paste it on top of S4, dude.
Pretty much. But dude, that's just crazy to me. And there's no chance of you ever getting in that area without working for them. Like if you were caught in the S4 just wandering around, you'd be immediately incarcerated.
Fucking Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Just fly in there.
True.
Start laying waste to all the...
I might go build one when I get home. Try to get over to S4.
Need some fucking... I don't know. What does
I just
he
need
use
a loan.
for the reactor?
I need a loan from the bank to fucking build an Iron Man suit.
Need some adamantium.
Ooh,
Need a fucking adamantium shield or something.
Is that
Black Panther suit?
Isn't it vibranium?
Vibranium. That's Black Panther, the Wakanda stuff.
Isn't that Iron Man 2? Adamantium is Wolverine, I think.
Yeah, adamantium is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Vibranium
is like Captain America's
Captain America's shield. The Iron Man suit's not vibranium.
It's just iron.
It can be destroyed.
Yeah.
It gets destroyed all the time, dude. He gets fucking rocked.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know why they don't just give him a little vibranium. What if you just put like a little vibranium mesh over the top?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Like
it doesn't have to be full vibranium. That shit's probably heavy.
It's probably heavy as shit. And probably not as like mendable, I guess.
Vibranium chainmail.
Ooh,
be dope.
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet.
Still take all the impacts though.
Yeah, that would suck.
Fucking break bones.
I'd rather have adamantium. I'd rather have adamantium bones. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I'd take Wolverine over Iron Man any day.
Yeah, with the regenerating shit, dude. Wolverine is so badass. I feel like even though he's like really popular, I feel like he's one of the most underrated superheroes ever.
I think he's misunderstood in pop culture.
Yeah.
People don't understand how hardcore like Wolverine actually is. Like,
dude,
he's the most metal of all the X-Men, like by
for sure.
far, dude.
Oh yeah.
Like the Hulk, I think the Hulk rips him in half and throws half of his body over a mountain. And like he crawls back to his bottom half and like reattaches himself.
Yep, like, I have that issue at home. I remember reading that and I was like, "Holy shit, this man cannot die!" Like,
oh, dude,
how is he not bleeding out? That's just
like
nuts.
So hardcore.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Wolverine's like that. He really is.
I don't know why there's more Deadpool fans than Wolverine fans.
I got to be honest with you, dude. I don't give a shit about Deadpool.
I don't get it either, man.
He feels like that typical MCU. Like he's like the perfect MCU character for like the whole comic relief after every serious moment. That's my issue with the MCU is that's like it's so diluted with fucking it's overpopulated with like comic relief. It's like make a fucking serious movie once in a while and let it fucking settle with people like holy shit that was incredible instead of like every serious moment in the movies. Like Thor Love and Thunder was an abomination. Every fucking serious moment was like undermined by a fucking comic relief.
Since the beginning, they made like the first Thor movie was all right. I thought it was pretty cool. Just because it was like still when those movies were kind of new. I think it was like right after Iron Man they released Thor, and it was still kind of new. And it was like, dude, this is fucking sick. They're putting all these special effects on these heroes. Like
it was just Thor didn't get the love he deserved because he's Thor.
And it was like a real Thor story. You know, like he lost his hammer and he had to like fucking become worthy again to get his hammer back, and like that was pretty badass. And like now he is literally the comic relief.
For
MCU.
Sure.
They just threw him down the pipeline of like comic relief, and like he's supposed to be a Norse god,
dude.
Like his funny moments are supposed to be accidental. It's supposed to be like, oh, you don't understand our culture.
Exactly.
Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's how the funny moments are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not like, he's just a big fucking idiot now.
Exactly. Like when I saw Infinity War, I was so pumped for that because it was obviously the ending of that whole phase, and I enjoyed Infinity War, and when Endgame came out, I was super pumped for it. And when it came out, we went to theaters, we saw the premiere, I went with all my homies, we're all comic book guys. The movie's going on, I see Fat Thor, and I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck is this? And then the whole movie, I sat there, it ended, credits rolled, lights turn on, all my homies are like, dude, what'd you think? That was awesome, right? It was the last one. It tied up everything. I was like, I hated every second of that movie. Like, I hated every fucking second of that movie. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, dude, that was complete garbage. Yeah. And they were just mind blown. I was like, there was zero continuity in that movie at all from the comics. Like, cool, take some liberties in storytelling when you're transferring, a story from comic book to live action movie. Sometimes you have to. But to fucking literally derail the entire story of the comics and just tell this random fucking bullshit, I was just heated. I couldn't believe I sat through that.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, what they did with Marvel, like, it feels like it just changed, turned into something else. Like I said, around like Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
That's when it started to really like...
they have some really fucking great movies. Like, I think they have more bad movies than they have great movies. Like, I think I honestly do enjoy all the Guardians. Number 2 was all right. Have you seen the newest Guardians? Mm. It's pretty good. It's actually,
I heard it was good. I'd watch it. I'd watch it. Like, I'm not like, fucking swearing off all Marvel movies
for sure,
but like there's I understand there's a couple that are good, and I've been meaning to watch the third Guardians.
Dude. It's I really enjoyed it. I went into that after the second Guardians. I didn't hate the second Guardians, but I thought it was definitely like lackluster compared to the first one. But I watched the third one. I was like, that one was really fucking good because there was a lot of really serious moments in it, and then, of course, they have that typical James Gunn Guardians comedy in it. But it wasn't always like, it wasn't riddled with it, I
don't mind the James Gunn Guardians comedy, like,
because that's how they're supposed to be, kind of.
Yeah, well, they're supposed to be that way, but he's actually like good at it. Mm-hmm. Like, the jokes don't seem cheesy.
Yeah,
like they actually catch you off guard, and you're like, yeah. That was funny. Like, for sure, that was pretty good. Like how Rocket just steals prosthetic limbs. You're just like,
yeah,
exactly. Did it again. Motherfucker.
Well, this one's really great because it's literally a Rocket Raccoon movie. And
yeah.
Fucking
I heard
great.
It was all about his like origin pretty much, and like his story.
It's really good.
Yeah, man. I don't mind like the Marvel movies, but some of them are just I won't like. There's Thor: Love and Thunder. I've still never seen it. I don't care, dude.
Don't do it, dude.
I don't give a fuck about that movie.
Same thing with like Captain Marvel.
After Thor Ragnarok, I watched Ragnarok and I was like, what did they do? What did they do to Thor? Those motherfuckers. Like, he's an idiot.
He's a dumbass. He's a dumbass. Come on,
he's supposed to be a god. Like, maybe he's a dumb god, but
yeah.
Fuck, dude. He's supposed to be tearing these motherfuckers up. Like, they made him weak as hell and like just a goofy motherfucker.
Yeah, don't watch Love and Thunder, dude. It's terrible.
Why is Thor playing Xbox?
Exactly.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, there's one scene in Love and Thunder. It's the opening scene. Visually, fucking incredible. Like, just the shit that they can pull off with CGI and shit.
Well, that's not hard anymore.
Yeah, for sure. But like, there's a scene where Thor's fucking people up, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And it's got like this hair metal playing in the background.
It's a flashback.
No, it's not a flashback.
Oh, okay.
But then Thor, these two beasts are like charging him from either side of him. And then Thor jumps in the air and he does the splits and stops both of them. And he's just like, he's wearing like really tight jeans and a fucking like a denim vest and shit. And then he gives out like this, and he does some power move or whatever. But it was just like the whole thing where he's in the splits. That was the whole comedy of it. He's doing the splits to hold off these two fucking beasts while he's doing this war cry. And I was just like, and you fucking killed it. And then after that, I was like, this movie's going to be terrible. I watched the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I was right. Fucking awful.
Bad.
Yeah, not good.
Oh, well.
Yeah, fucking.
There's better movies out there, I guess. Just stay away from Disney.
See, that's the thing. Like, I love I guess here's my thing with Disney. I Disney does not make quality shit that much anymore. But I fucking love Disneyland. Like I will go to Disneyland as much as possible.
Disneyland's okay.
I fucking love
Give me some fast ass roller coasters.
Dude, I don't disagree with you.
I don't need the themed Disneyland park.
Dude, I love
some of the rides are cool, but
yeah, for sure.
Dude,
but like you can't get
Six Flags.
You can't get like an Indiana Jones anywhere else. Like
that's true.
The aesthetics of that ride and the way it works and shit. It's like, where the fuck are you gonna get on a ride that's like
Universal Studios?
True, but I went to Universal Studios and I went on the Harry Potter ride and I was pretty. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't like Indiana Jones or anything like that. It was just like
last time I went to Universal, it was like they were building the Harry Potter ride.
Yeah.
They're still building it.
If you're ever going and you want to see the Harry Potter world, go to the Florida one, because the one in California is really underwhelming. It's like just one street in and out, and then there's like a couple little avenues that you could take, but it always loops back around to the main road. And but the one in Florida is like huge.
Yeah, that's the one I saw getting built. They like had almost half the park fucking blocked off.
And the one in Florida has like 3 or 4 rides. The one in California has the one ride. So it's like, but it was still cool. I mean, the castle looked pretty sweet, and the butterbeer was fantastic.
Yeah, I bet.
It's just like a butterscotch. Like you can get
Honestly,
a cold
not a huge Harry Potter fan.
I like Harry Potter. I like it. My wife is really big into Harry Potter. I like it. I'm not like her Star Wars is Harry Potter, and her Harry Potter is my Star Wars.
It's so cheesy to me, dude. It's so cringy.
The first films definitely are, but I think the later, like the 2-part of number 7, man, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, I think the movies get better as they go on. Like that's obvious. I mean, I appreciate that the movies actually grew with the generation. Yeah. Of like, you know, it actually grew up with Harry Potter. Like as he went through school,
that's the thing I like about it too.
And like that's cool. I like that. But like, I don't know. The whole wizard thing is cheesy to me. The whole concept of it. Yeah. This secret wizard school hidden in the mountains, and you know, you get a secret letter that says you're a wizard, and you get to go to this special school. Like, and it's just like.
Didn't you say you read all the books?
I read 6 of them.
Okay. Damn, you were so close. You had 1 left.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was already like 14 or 15. I was like, this is not my book anymore. Like, I'm not
makes sense.
I was trying to read Dune. You know, Harry Potter just wasn't cutting it, man.
So I remember you mentioned you read the Twilight books too, right?
Yeah, that was for a girl.
Okay, cool. Nice.
It was not for my personal interest.
I read the first Twilight book, and it actually really wasn't that bad. It was good writing, but it wasn't my shit.
It's worse, dude.
What do you mean? It gets worse?
It gets way worse.
Oh, wow.
2, 3, and 4, it just gets significantly worse every
It can't
book.
be worse than the movies, though.
The movies are a different beast, but they're all bad.
Dude, my wife
There's nothing good about that.
My wife is obsessed
story
with Twilight, and it's like,
why?
Because she's I don't know. I think it's also because she's a Robert Pattinson fan. So when she sees Edward on the screen, she's like, ooh. But she forced me to sit down and watch all those movies, and she got so pissed because the whole time I was watching those movies, I was just dissecting it. I was like, this is the fucking dumb. I was like, why is this happening? Who the fuck? Why would they do this and that? It was just like, I was mind boggled by how terrible those movies were.
That's why I
hated everyone in that.
Yeah, I don't watch movies I know that I'm not gonna like.
Yeah,
I just avoid them at all costs.
Well, I had to do it because she's my wife.
Yeah, I mean,
I had to make her happy.
I'd try so hard to watch a different movie. Like that would be my strategy.
Yep. What about this one?
Are you sure there's another?
Your cogs are turning. Like, come on, think of a movie she might be interested in.
Fucking anything.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I read those books, and it was honestly. There was a lot of, suicidal narration going on throughout the entirety of the books.
Yep.
And it was like really awkward.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so this girl's like in love with this killer vampire who like, doesn't want to eat her, but might.
Yep.
And then like what the fuck is this? This whole book is just about temptation of a teenager. That's it.
Pretty much.
And like being sad.
Yep.
Because you can't. commit.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that's probably my least favorite, even including Marvel shit, is my least favorite series of movies ever. Just terrible.
Have you read? Do you like read books? Like,
it's been a while since I've finished a book, but during the quarantine, so it's really specific. Like during the quarantine, I read like 9 Star Wars novels. In like, I don't know, like 3 months or something like that, because I had nothing to do. So I pounded through a bunch of Star Wars novels. I used to read a lot of Stephen King. I used to read a lot of like biographies and shit, or autobiographies.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I've actually like, probably since quarantine, since I picked up a book and finished it. I have this thing where like I'll read a book and I'll get really invested into it. And then I'll see another book and I'm like, fuck, I want to read that one too. And I'll buy it. And then I'm reading like 2 books at the same time. So I can't ever commit, at least recently, I can't commit to like.
Have you ever read Ender's Game?
No, but I've heard good things about that.
Dude, it's like on the top list. If you type in like best sci-fi books, it's up there every time, like next to Dune.
Cool.
Ender's Game is by this dude named Orson Scott Card. And it's actually a really short read. Yeah. It's a really short book. It's really easy to read. He wrote it for like high schoolers. Oh, wow. And it's super easy to read, but it goes into like these really like in-depth, like almost philosophical conversations about like leadership.
Oh, cool.
And what it means to be like, you know, in charge of this group of people who are like counting on you, and like, you know, how fucking lonely it can be, like when you're on the top, you know, and like, it's just this crazy book that goes into these concepts that are like, you wouldn't expect from a sci-fi story. You know, you're like, I thought this was a story about, you know, humans fighting aliens, but it's like, it's a story about this kid and how hard they're driving this fucking kid to save humanity. Yeah. And they don't give a shit about his feelings.
Yeah, I love that shit.
You know, and it's like, you don't get to be tired.
Is it a series? Is it a series or just the one book?
It's kind of weird. There's the one book called Ender's Game. Then years later, he wrote a second book, and it was about a character who runs into this intelligent species on another planet, and there's also a virus on the planet that like affects their DNA, you know, and they and like the humans go there to study it, you know, but then they all get infected with the virus, and they have to like create a vaccine for it and everything, you know, but the vaccine is slowly not working anymore, so like they have to figure this shit out fast. Yeah. You know, there's like a 20-year window or something. And so it's like a totally different book from like Ender's Game. But I read that like while he was writing it, he realized like the main character is the exact same main character from Ender's Game. Like all of the personality he was writing, he was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm gonna just make it the same universe. So he like tied them together. He like went back and changed the names so they matched and like tied them together. And so Ender's Game happens, then he gets on a colony ship and travels from planet to planet to planet, and time passes a lot faster when you're in hyperspace. Yeah. So the second book takes place 5,000 years later.
Damn.
Yeah. So 5,000 years later, he's on a planet and they find an intelligent species again. So it's like he fucking committed xenocide and wiped out an entire alien race when he was a child. Shit. And now he happens to be on the planet where they find another intelligent life. And he's like, holy fuck, dude, this is my second chance. Like, this is my chance to come back and like redeem myself. So he's trying so hard to like get them accepted into the community of intelligent beings, which is just humans. Yeah. Wow. So it's like he wants to create like, you know.
That's trippy.
Yeah, but they're tribal.
Oh, okay.
They're
primitive,
like
they're
spears, and but they learn really fast. They pick up English in like a week. Oh shit. All of them speak English, and they're like, how did this happen? They're like really smart. Yeah. And then they start like catching on to things and sneaking into the base. Like,
that's mind blowing.
Dude, it's such a crazy fucking story.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
But it goes Ender's Game, and then Speaker of the Dead. Okay. That's the second book. And then there's book 3 and 4, which are just continuations of Speaker of the Dead. It's like about that planet still. Okay. So those books are closer together. And then there's like a parallel series too of his right-hand man in Battle School, this little kid called Bean. He was like this tiny little kid, but he's like super smart, like smarter than Ender. And there's a whole parallel story because Bean stays on Earth, and like after the whole like alien battle or whatever, and there's a story about him and how he's helping Ender's brother become the president of the world. So there's like 4 more books. And the first one actually goes through his experience in school with Ender. So they're like, it's like a parallel story next to the first book, you know? So it's kind of cool to see it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then the other 3 books are him on Earth, like trying to unite the world so that they can create a network of planets.
Okay.
You know, that's the goal.
Cool.
But and by the 4th book, like I guess there was supposed to be another book that like tied them both together at the end, because Bean has this condition and he ends up getting shot into hyperspace to save his life. Like if you go into hyperspace, you can wait out this illness, and we might be able to find a cure before you die.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So he's just
marching
on a loop in hyperspace.
Okay.
Going hundreds.
So time
and hundreds
around
of
him
years.
is like fucking going
time around
quick,
him is
but
going
he's
super
the
fast,
same.
just in hopes that maybe they'll find a cure.
Wow.
And like, so, and like, I guess the last book was supposed to, like, they're supposed to meet up in the future at some point. Like Ender was finally supposed to meet, or at least like Bean's children.
Yeah.
Some of his children had the same illness, and they had to go with him.
It kind of
They
reminds
sent
me
him
of
and his children out on a one-way ticket. Like
it kind of reminds me of loosely reminds me of like Interstellar a little bit, like how it goes to the fucking black
time
hole.
dilation.
Yeah, dude, that's gnarly.
Yeah,
couldn't imagine
yeah.
fucking coming back to Earth and your daughter is like a freaking 90-year-old woman and you're still fucking 30-something years old. You're just like, what?
Crazy.
That
was nuts. The Martian, wasn't it?
No, that was Interstellar. I'm pretty sure because he goes to that black hole and then he.
Oh yeah, it was Interstellar. That was the.
She's
time
like in the
dilation
hospital
one, yeah.
bed and shit.
The Martian didn't have any time.
No, he was just,
like that.
I actually never saw The Martian.
Dude, it's so good.
I heard it's like I heard it's one of the most like scientifically accurate space movies.
There's not a lot wrong with it. That's for sure. I mean, technically that operation would be fucking logistically impossible.
Yeah,
but
if it was,
if everything went perfect, maybe we could have pulled that off.
Yeah,
but we don't like have a base on Mars or nothing, so anybody stuck there would be dead.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, check out Orson Scott Card though.
I will,
because not just that series, like he writes other series. There's one he does that's like heavily into time travel and shit.
Yeah, shit.
It's like a sci-fi time travel novel.
That stuff's interesting to me for sure. Like that's
Pathfinder. Look that
Pathfinder?
Cool. Pathfinder's dope. It gets so confusing because like there's shit that happens in the first book, and then you get to the third. It's like doesn't explain anything. Like a knife gets transported into his hand out of nowhere, just teleports into his hand. Once he figures out he has these powers, you're like, okay, so he has a jeweled dagger, and then it just kind of glosses over it. Like that was weird. And then other things happen, and he like forgets about it. And then in the third book, you realize why the fuck that happened.
Oh god!
And you're like, whoa, holy fuck! And like everything just starts coming into circles. You like everything starts connecting. You're like, holy shit!
I like shit. I like that shit. That's why I like One Piece. That's why I like One Piece so much because One Piece does that shit. Like
does a lot of like random like plot tie-ups like in other episodes.
Yeah, like stuff that happens in like the first 100 episodes is still relevant 1,000 episodes later. Oda is a master fucking storyteller as far as that goes. Like he's able to, like the callbacks are insane. You'll be watching
clever.
Like, yeah, for sure. You'll be watching like you're on episode fucking 1,120 something or something like that, and then it mentions something from the first arc or like the second season. You're just some like,
character
holy
they met
shit!
in like the beginning of the journey.
That's also that's the other thing too is that in One
like
Piece,
you remember me.
Yes,
like,
because no one.
like
I mean, there are
cheesy
characters that do die in One Piece, but for the most part, he keeps a lot of the characters alive, and so like you'll be 1,000 episodes in, and this character from season 1 or 2 will pop up, and you're just like, holy fucking shit, and then it'll be super relevant to the story of like what this dude's doing and shit like that. It's just that's why I like One Piece so much is because he's able to fucking keep it consistent and the callbacks.
Or is it
One Piece?
Finish it?
Oh, and it's still going. He's probably got another like 5 years on that shit. He'll probably be up in like, as far as episodes go,
Is he gonna do it till he dies?
He's already had some health problems. Like
I know, but like, is he gonna keep going or is he gonna wrap it up? Like,
I think he's gonna keep it going. I think he knows. So at this point in the anime and the manga, Oda has announced basically that now we're in the story of One Piece. Everything else was prequel.
And what an asshole.
So yeah, so he's like welcome to One Piece, you know. So I think he's got probably another 5 years left of writing or so. And then, but I think he also has a contingency plan because of his health. If something does happen, he's probably confined it into someone
he's got, like, spin-offs already written up.
Not even like spin-offs, but I think he's confined it into someone like really special and like trustworthy to him that knows how this is going to end. And if something ever happens, they'll be able to finish it for him. But I think he'll make it to the end because it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, what more can happen in this fucking show? Luffy is already like this insane character with insane strength, but then he brings in another fucking bad guy that's like, yeah, but this guy's fucking 10 times that, you know.
That's anime.
It's anime for sure, but but to do it for 1,100 episodes, man, that's just like crazy. This show's been going on since I was fucking 8 years old. Dude, or something.
Bleach is the next one, man.
Yeah,
it's still going.
It's still going?
Bleach?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh,
I think it's still going, man.
Wow.
Turns out, like, Ichigo's mom was a Quincy, and fucking the story kept going.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is another one that's never going to leave. Goku's going to be like 1,000 years old.
Akira Toriyama is a madman, and he's probably going to write till he dies.
Yeah.
He's just going to
But even when he dies, there's going to be someone that takes up the mantle and keeps writing Dragon Ball, I have a feeling.
Well, they'll try.
Yeah.
He'll give him the rights, but that doesn't mean it'll be good. Like,
true. But
it won't be any.
It's kind of like McDonald's. It's
even he's written shit that sucks, and he's trashed it. Like GT. He threw that out the window. Yeah, he wrote the whole fucking series, and he's like, you know what?
Doesn't count.
Yep. Never mind, guys. Sorry.
Doesn't count.
I don't know where I was going with that one. My bad.
Dude, if it wasn't for Frieza, Earth would have been fucking destroyed because Jiren was about to get that motherfucker. He was about to get Goku and destroy him. I firmly believe that in Dragon Ball Super.
Oh yeah.
If Frieza hadn't
I saw Super. I haven't seen Super yet. No.
Do you know the gist of it or anything like that?
I know that there's like some inner like dimensional tournament or something, but I don't know like the details or nothing.
I think it's like each. I don't know if it's planets within. I can't remember if it's planets within the universe they live in, or if it's interdimensional or something like that. But there's like the big tournaments where they're fighting, and Beerus he's the god of destruction. So basically, every warrior that loses, basically, he's gonna destroy those people's planets or universe or whatever it is. And there's this guy named Jiren who's just a fucking beast, and he is destroying Goku. And Goku's about to, he's about done. And fucking Frieza and Android, is it 16? He's the guy. Is Android 16 is the brother?
17.
17? He also comes back or whatever, and he helps Goku. If it wasn't for Frieza and Android, that whole Dragon Ball universe would have been fucked up, and Jiren would have won that shit because it's you should watch some like the action scenes from Jiren and Goku's fight.
I mean, that's how they write it. I mean, I always think back to like Bleach when they introduced Kenpachi and they showed how powerful Kenpachi was and all this shit he could do. Like, if that first introduction was real and honest, like the story was over there, man. Yeah. Like Kenpachi would have just chopped Ichigo into 5,000 pieces, and like there's no reason he should have been able to stand up on his own. He had no help. Yeah. He didn't have like fucking Frieza to come help him.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like anime, they'll just write whatever they need to keep the plot going.
For sure.
But it's like, fuck, man.
Are you a Superman fan?
Nope.
You don't like Superman?
No.
Why?
It's too much.
Yeah.
Just too much power. Like,
okay, so
just, he can't be stopped.
So then you agree that he would beat Goku?
That's a conversation, man. That's a real conversation. Like,
he would beat Goku.
You wouldn't know.
Oh, he would destroy Goku.
I don't know enough about Superman.
Superman is ridiculous.
I know that the whole, like, Goku's plot armor is that he is always going to rise up to the challenge. That's like his superpower or whatever. So like, sure, in the right plot, like, yeah, he would beat Superman.
There's just
but
certain
then, like, in the right DC plot, Superman would beat Goku.
Well, when DC and Dragon Ball, it's all the same plot regardless. So if you put Superman and Goku against each other, everything they've done inside of their respective worlds is relevant. So it's like, I'm gonna upset all the fucking weebs and shit, but honestly, Goku would, out of 10 times, probably lose 9 times, and that's being generous in my opinion.
Yeah, there's some plots that Superman has that just make him so crazy powerful.
It's insane.
Like, yeah, he's a god.
Just
like,
the fact, like, there's like, you can just use one for example. You've seen Goku get mopped into a planet, fucking, and you know he's crash landing into a planet from getting hit or something like that, or into a mountain. Nothing happens. Superman literally has to use so much restraint just to walk on Earth, to not knock it off of his axis. And
yeah,
it's like, just that feat alone is like, come on, bro.
Yeah, the way they describe Superman, there's a lot of like contradictions though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's so powerful that he is a walking contradiction. Like, of course he's gonna fucking win.
True.
They wrote him to be the most powerful thing. Like,
well, that's the thing too. In anime,
it just comes down to like English descriptions at that point.
In
like,
anime too, I mean, Goku is the counter to Superman in all of anime. So it's like, you could say the same thing for Goku, but yeah, Superman's just so ridiculously powerful. Like,
I mean, there's other anime characters that might be able to take on Superman.
I don't think so, dude.
Like the captain of research and development in Bleach, Kurosuchi. He'd probably have a trick that would take out Superman.
Yeah, but
like Batman could take out Superman.
That's plot, though.
That's what I mean. Like, DC is all plot. It's not about what the characters can do. It's about what they have to sacrifice to get the job done.
I think that's what makes. But when it comes to Superman, I feel like that's the difference, though. It is, regardless of plot, Superman is written. I mean, he will always be that way. He will always be the number one guy as far as like, regardless of plot, because it's just, there's so many fucking ridiculous feats. You can't even, I feel like there's no plot that you can create for Superman to lose against anyone else.
There's always something he can do.
For sure. Like, the dude's pulled all the 8 planets on his back. He's held black holes in his hand. He's fucking outlived the literal embodiment of death.
That's why I don't like Superman. It's dumb.
Oh, dude. But it's okay.
You hold a black hole in your hand. That's stupid, dude. Get out of my face.
Sick. I
that's fucking dumb.
I used to think the same way. I hated Superman, and my brother is a massive Superman fan, and I never read any Superman comics. Never got into them. And then I was like, just to kind of like, I was just curious, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna read some Superman stories. And the Superman stories really aren't about his power level and how strong he is. No. It's about Superman and how he's conflicted about being this fucking crazy, insane, strong, and the strongest, most unbeatable thing in the universe. And that's why I love Superman and started to love Superman, because you got down into his actual character himself. Mm-hmm. And it's really like, he can be really well written, and you can kind of relate to him and see like, all right, this dude's not just some guy flying around punching shit as hard as he can with laser vision and shit like that, and always winning.
Powerpuff Girls.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, they just smash shit, dude. Have you ever watched that? Like
Powerpuff Girls?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like recently?
Oh, they have like new Powerpuff Girls?
No, just as an adult. Like, watch the old episodes, bro.
No, but
like,
I've seen stuff.
That shit's fucking hilarious.
It is. I've seen stuff with like I've rewatched stuff. Like him, the bad guy, is that his name? Him?
Hilarious.
Fucking hilarious, but fucking weird, dude. It's like, wow, this shit was real. To relate Powerpuff Girls to music, though, do you like the Gorillaz at all?
They're all right. They have some cool songs.
So
I think they're interesting.
I'm a Gorillaz super fan. I fucking love Gorillaz. Yeah, I got them tattooed right here on.
Oh,
on my
nice.
Leg. There's this really cool thing where Damon Albarn, who is the singer for Blur, he's also the creator of Gorillaz. He's friends with the two people that are accounted for, or what's the word I'm looking for? Credited for Gorillaz. Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewitt, I think is his name. Jamie Hewitt is the guy that creates all the Gorillaz art and the characters and shit. Jamie Hewitt knows the creator of Powerpuff Girls.
Jendi?
What's his name?
Jendi? Cindy Tartovsky?
Yeah, him. And he knows him. So they did this thing where how familiar are you with like the animated band of gorillas? Like could you like picture them in your head?
Yeah, I know what they look like.
Cool. So like the green guy, Murdoch, the bass player who's all satanic and shit.
Yeah.
He leaves the band because the whole band has like a storyline within the albums and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he leaves the band. I heard he gets arrested or something like that. And they have to find a new bass player. And so what they do is they hire this guy named Ace, and he's part of the gang, Green gang, and he's the leader in Powerpuff Girls. Ace. Yeah, and so and for a short while, they used Ace as their bass player, and he was in the Gorillaz universe. So now, because they obviously collaborated with the Powerpuff Girls creator, so now Gorillaz and Powerpuff Girls are part of the same universe.
And technically, yeah,
that's fucking weird.
Why wouldn't they be?
I guess it makes sense. You got Mojo Jojo and shit.
It all looks like Gorillaz, dude. Yeah. It all looks like the same animation. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Makes sense they're buddies.
I found that out and I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
That's pretty funny. I didn't realize that. They used a Powerpuff Girls character in Gorillaz.
Yeah, and in one of their music videos, or in like two of their music videos, it's literally Ace on the bass fucking playing. He looks gorilla-fied. He's not like all Powerpuff animated, but he looks sick. He's got the slick back hair and the shades and shit. I was like, holy fuck, that is nuts.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's really cool shit.
Well, man, we've been going for quite a while in this episode.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think we ought to kill it before we fucking make the longest episode in history. But yeah, it's been good talking with you, man.
Yeah, you too, dude.
It's a good episode. I think everyone's going to watch it. Everyone in the world.
Everyone in the world. I mean, they better.
8 billion views.
Even the fucking aliens. The government and everything. They're going to have this on
those camouflaged aliens.
On their urinal TV screens.
Men in Black? I don't think so.
Oh, no.
Men? That's generous. All right, man. It was good talking with you.
You too, dude.